What is up, everybody? It is Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for some more shenanigans. Tonight, we have on Mr. Tom Over Jr., yesterday's winner of the Thursday Nighter, with, on his way, soon to be here, Mr. Nick Rogers. And then
Freakyeah.com.
Mr. Tony Schultz.
Freakyeah.com, sorry.
Our normal attendant, Mr. Tony Schultz, with the third place in the Thursday Nighter. I got to put these headphones on because I feel like I'm talking to nothing.
Dude, that was a fun tournament last night because we caught 2 of our 3 keepers in the last, 15 minutes of the tournament.
Yeah, you told me that it was like a freaking grind.
It was grindy for us, too. And it's weird. There's no reason why it should be grindy because we've been going out and every tournament, we'll go to our spot. It doesn't matter where we start. I'll catch one right away. And then it's then they're gone. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's like that.
2 weeks ago, I know we pulled up right behind you. Literally, I think the first or second cast that you made, you had a fish on.
Yeah, it was the first cast. I didn't even have the trolling motor down when I caught one. I was like, well, and then I got in the boat and I was like, damn, that sucks. This fish is not big enough. And it wasn't. So.
It's a start.
Right.
I hate when that happens. You have a couple like that at the Solstice tournament. We had one on, and then it was like, oh my gosh, we got one. Get it up. It's like 10 inches.
But here's the thing: is the Solstice tournament. So I actually finished right behind you, which I didn't even realize that until I looked about a week later. And I have high expectations for the gunpowder because it's where I fish all the time. So it's if I'm not me personally, and this is just me being kind of a douche, I guess, right? If I'm not in the top 3, I'm not happy. Really. And that's kind of being little bit.
That's completely understandable in my opinion.
Right. So, but then I kind of thought about it after the Solstice. I'm like, there's almost 40.
God.
There's 40 boats in the Solstice, and I think you got 6, I got 7. And I'm like, you really can't complain about
37 boats in the Solstice.
That was
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Compared to last night, it was only 13.
Was it
Yeah.
only 13 last night?
Was it? I thought it was 13
Yeah, but
or
dude, the
14,
week
yeah.
before it was 32 boats or something like
I think
that.
29.
Yeah, I think it was
something like that.
The week that I really thought it was going to be crummy, to be honest with you. By the way, I just fixed this mic issue. We needed to push the button.
Ah, yes, correct. That's the mute button for those of you that are watching.
Tom looks like a sportscaster with the little thing down next to his face.
Oh, do we not actually? Oh,
Snakehead.
we don't use
Oh,
that.
that's awesome. I like it. So, but yeah, definitely congrats to you and Nick. You guys had a hell of a bag, man. That's pretty cool. And then the guys in second, I think it was JT and Andrew. I'm sorry if I got your names wrong. The only reason I probably got your names wrong is I don't know you guys that well, but you all did a great job. So, congrats to you guys. And then I'm actually excited because I think I found something that's gonna be there for a while. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Because I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's a spot I've been fishing the gun, dude. I've been fishing the gunpowder forever, and it's a spot I have never fished ever, and they're there.
You said it took you a month to finally put these puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, it did, and I'll tell you, and I'll really tell you why I'm not gonna say
When the
shit.
Thursday nighters come, well, I don't expect you to say shit, but when the Thursday nighters come around, Mr. Schultz definitely starts to get a little bit serious about things.
So I know he doesn't watch the show, but Clint and can you give me a beer, Chad? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I sure
I'm just
can.
too far away from the refrigerator here.
Good time.
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. So when we were practicing for the Solstice, a couple guys in my club, Clint, who is one of the best people you'll ever meet in your life. What are you asking for?
Bottle opener.
Oh,
Did you just do that with your hand?
yeah.
Yeah, you're
It's a
not
twist
real
off,
man.
dude. It's a blue moon.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look, there's threads on it.
Wow.
Wow.
I shouldn't have said anything. I would have looked a lot cooler.
That was
Anyway,
that was a really stupid moment. I had no idea that blue moons were twist off.
first time, first beer.
No, actually,
Right.
maybe my 200th one.
Right. But so Mr. Clint and Martin were out practicing for the Solstice, and actually during the Solstice, they had some really good fish hooked, but they jumped off for whatever reason. And, Clint was messing with me a little bit. He's like, yeah, it's a spot I found, and I guarantee you've never fished it on the gunpowder. So now I'm like, okay, motherfucker, like, come on. Like, because me and Clint are very close, and Clint's a fantastic individual to, one, be friends with, and two, to fish with. So, yeah, we're gonna mess with me a
I
little
think
bit.
Nick is outside. I don't know if he's scared to come in because the dog's barking or not, though.
But, so, long story short is, Clint being the guy that he is, he tells me the spot that he's been fishing, right? He's like, hey, game over. He's got a cooler with him.
There he is.
Oh, boy, look out. We got participant number 2 of the first place finishing, actively taking a piss at the moment. But I'll finish my story before Mr. Nick comes in. But basically, long story short is Clint told me where he was catching them. And I said, Clint, I appreciate you telling me. I'm never going to fish that spot. And I haven't to this day. I have not gone over there. I've scanned it. Why did I scan it? I wanted to see what it looked like so I could find some shit that's the same
Similar.
thing. And that's exactly what happened.
Yep.
And I found it in 3 different spots. And it's on. And I'm like, holy shit. This is... And that's like... We've talked about that on the show before. Like... We share information all the time. I talk to Paul, we talk to Nate Brown, and it's like we tell each other stuff. We say, hey, I caught him here, and like we don't jump each other's spots because it ain't like that, right? But like it's really cool. I think it makes you a better fisherman when somebody says, hey, I caught him on rocks doing this in this spot, and then you go and find something close to it and catch them, and you don't screw over somebody else's fish. And you also learned something in the process. Like I was with Skylar when I found it. Me and Skylar went out on Tuesday, and we had a slower morning, and we found the spot at like I don't know, freaking 11 o'clock, almost noon, like high noon. Pulled up on the spot at high noon and caught 2 fish in 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, like we're done, we're leaving. And then we came back to it yesterday when the water was up, and we caught 2 in 5 minutes. I'm like, and they were good ones. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it next year or next week. But just to reiterate, Martin, it was not the spot. Do you know which spot I'm talking about? I swear to God, with Jesus Christ as my witness, I have not fished it. I told Clint I wouldn't fish it, and I will not fish it. But I found some shit that's close to it. Well, not physically close to it, but it's the same type of stuff, and it's somewhere else. So tell Clint I said thanks. But anyway, we got Nick here, so now we have the dynamic first place duo here, guys that took some of my money, not all of it, but some of it. But again, congrats to you guys. You guys did a hell of a job last night. That was awesome. I wanted to, and we don't have to talk about it right now, but I think we were having a good conversation last night about, you were talking about the snakehead population, like how you think it's down. And I thought what you were saying was like a lot of people would like to hear that, because every time we have you guys on the show, we have a lot more people that watch, because everyone wants to know like what's the scoop on the snakes.
Right. I think it's down a little bit, but I still think there's a lot there. Like I think it's like I was telling them about like a couple years ago how like
you'd see
that
fry
year
balls
was
everywhere.
That year was like the last of the Mohicans. Like it was really good. Like the size was there, of course, at times. The size is better now, I think, but you couldn't go out there without catching, quite a few fish.
Right.
The numbers were there, but they were all mostly small.
There's definitely still snakes there all over the place. You spook them all the time. We all do. And but I do think that the numbers are down just a little bit. But it could be a combination of like pressure too. Like,
right.
Yeah. Pressure,
bow
conditions,
guys,
everything.
trolling motors, the
Right.
noise, getting used to it. all
They
that
see
kind of
about
stuff.
150 frogs a day now.
100
and
miles
it's
at
like,
least.
over their heads.
Yeah.
so what do you guys think? I mean, we all heard about this state record snakehead that was caught either today or yesterday. Was it today or was it
Yeah,
yesterday?
it was a couple days ago.
It was
a couple days ago.
Probably
Okay.
the weekend, but
So now, again, I'm not nearly as well versed in the snakeheads as y'all, but I thought that because they were invasive, DNR didn't do records and stuff. Because I remember like a 20-pounder caught in Middle River like 2-3 years ago.
Really?
That didn't count because there was no record keeping for it. It might not have been 20. I think it was like it was, if not 19 for sure.
I think 19 was the state record.
It was like 19.5
It was
or
19,
19.8.
19.9, I think, was the other
What?
one. But it was like
It's
it was a bow fishing record before.
It was a
wasn't
bow fishing record.
They
So,
count
like,
them both in the same
yeah,
category.
so,
There's
like,
no separate.
the
That's wrong.
IGFA
To this day, is it still like that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As far
shit.
as I know.
like
yeah.
even the IGFA, like I think I told you about it, like they're real weird about Northern Snakehead. Like they have one record and like that's it. So
Yeah.
like with like all the other like fish out there, like across the board, they have line class records. You name
Right.
it.
Right.
Snakehead is like what it is kind of
Right.
what it is. So
I kind of like, and it's interesting that you said like the whole Last of the Mohicans thing. It's kind of, to me, it's very similar to like the stink bug, right? Remember the first couple years, dude? They were everywhere,
I think
and now
something's
it's
gone
like
away.
from time to time. Oh, hey, there's one. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
3 years
It
ago,
depends on the time of the year.
to me, it was
For
like
sure.
2 to 3 years ago when it was like I would go throw a frog and it was like 3-to-1 snakehead to bass ratio.
Right.
Now it's like 10-to-1 bass, dude. I haven't
Yeah.
caught a snakehead on a frog yet this year.
Really?
It's kind of crazy.
We caught what, 2?
I haven't caught a snakehead yet.
two.
Really?
We had like 1 or 2 more. Dude, last night, I think the first bass that we got in the boat, I was on the front and throwing it by a grass mat. There was like a 2-pound bass that came out from underneath this grass mat, waked it. Like
And popped it,
I
too,
thought
like a
100% that it was
Really?
a snakehead.
like the pop,
And
like
I
a
got it to the
actual
boat, I'm
pop.
like, it's a 2-pound bass. I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely think that like they're getting smarter. Like you gotta think, like
100%.
it's like
I think so too.
snakehead are a ton of fun. Like I enjoy fishing for them all the time, really. But like it's
They're getting smart.
it's a very basic style of fishing. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely people that are really good and they figured certain things out. But like you can go out there, you can get a rod,
Right.
you can buy a frog, and kind of go from there. You know what I mean?
Just
So like,
more frog.
that just increases the amount of people that are going out there and fishing for them, which in turn puts more pressure on the fish and all that. But
I mean, that's the same way with bass fishing. I feel that way about all these kind of freshwater fish in a way, though. Crappie, perch, anybody can go out and buy a Shakespeare
Yeah.
rod and some gold
Right,
jigs.
for sure,
and, you
for
know what I
sure.
mean? Like,
for sure. Yeah.
So what?
but I think the popularity of this invasive species that was such a grinding subject between people that
Yeah.
all these people were just like, well, now I have to go out and see what all this buzz
But
is, all this
at the
hype
same
is on
time,
this fish.
There's a big difference between somebody that just goes out and tries to catch one
100%.
and the
Somebody
guys like me and Nick here that are out there every single day that we get trying to figure them out.
Yeah, and it's
And
a
they're-
big difference.
Honestly, they do not fish exactly the same, but they're the same thing as a bass. Like if a bass is near a certain piece of cover, they're doing a certain thing at a certain time of day.
Yep.
Snakeheads are the same way.
Yep.
Right.
Not the same pattern,
And of
but
course,
they're
like-
relating to something similar.
Also, like very, very, very tidal oriented. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like there could be
The
a
snakehead.
foot of water
Oh,
with
yeah.
grass, but there's an area with 2 foot of grass. Like a lower tide or tides pulling out. A lot of times they are sitting in that area, depending
Right.
on like what area you're fishing, of course. And all
They
that
won't
stuff,
eat
but,
nothing
like,
until the water starts moving.
Yep, 100%. And those bite windows are small.
So what do
Very
you
small.
think about? I remember when the whole snakehead thing was first starting. It was like the Nana Coke was like the deal.
Yeah.
What happened? Are they still everywhere? Are they still, I mean, has it been fished out? Like, what's the deal? It seems like it kind of went from the Nana Coke, or excuse me, the Potomac first
Right.
to the Nana Coke, and then kind of the gunpowder a little bit.
Well, Nanticoke and like Chester area was kind of like one of the second places that they were found in, right? Like after the Potomac.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
Like it was those like it was almost like right after. I remember like as a kid because again like I was a kid
Right.
at the time when like this stuff happened.
Right.
I remember like because I used to just like fish like Gunpowder River, like Jones Road, Gunpowder River, like as a kid, and like I remember hearing about like the whole snakehead.
Where
stuff.
they run you off, right?
Some
Well,
kids
right.
like me never grow
But like
up.
I remember like that being a thing. Like once the whole Laurel thing happened and Potomac, and I remember like Nanticoke and Chester kind of being like right after that, like
Right.
pretty quick. But
Yeah.
I don't remember like there being like numbers. I don't know. I just remember like
Right.
there being like things. I remember my dad showing me articles and all that kind of
Dude,
stuff.
I remember it was like everybody that I knew that was catching snakeheads was catching them in the Nanacoke, and I remember I remember there was a hashtag for a while. It was hashtag Westside Snakeheads,
Right.
like when. And that was when it was like that was like the spark that lit the flame was like people are catching snakeheads on the Western Shore.
Right.
Oh my God.
Right,
Like the
right.
world's gonna freaking end. Like we're all never gonna catch a bass again or whatever, right? So but it's crazy because like, I remember last year I was fishing, I think it was either the Chop Tank or the Nanacoke, I can't remember. And I was throwing a frog in the pads and I had the most ungodly huge blow up in the world. And I'm like, dude, that has to be a bass. Like had to have been. Like because nobody catches snakeheads here anymore. Like it had to have been a bass. And I think Skylar was with me. He's like, dude, whatever it was huge. So of course I didn't know what it was.
Right.
But I remember everyone was raving about the Eastern Shore. Everyone was talking like the Nanacoke is so good for snakeheads.
Blackwater, like that.
Blackwaters, and that is a really good example. And then it like in the last, I'd say 3 to 5 years ago, it really shifted to gunpowder. Like everyone was coming with gunpowder. Dundee,
Well, I think-
Joppatown.
The first time, so I had like a little like cheap lifetime kayak. Like, the first time I tried to go out there for snakeheads specifically, like I think it was probably like 2016. It was probably 17 actually, and I caught one. I think I was talking to you about it, like where you go up in the gunpowder, like the river, like the actual part of the river, and then you got those two slows on the right.
Yep.
I caught one out of there, and like that was like my like light bulb moment. It was like, okay, they're here.
Right.
Like didn't catch one for like 2 years.
Right.
And then like it happened, like the big population boom. It was almost like out of nowhere. Like I remember like going out there and just being like paddling across grass when I was doing it. Like why am I doing this? Like
Right.
But the population boom definitely was probably 3 years ago. I
Yeah.
think
Sounds
four
about
to
right.
3 years ago was
Yeah,
probably like
yeah.
that big like
Yeah, it was
population
crazy.
boom.
I think 3 years ago, it might have been 4 years ago, but I think 3 years ago was when everybody really started like snakehead,
Right,
like you know
right.
what I mean, like.
Yeah.
So you guys have. So I agree with what you're
So
saying.
yeah,
with
probably
the
4
3 to
years
4.
because it probably takes it's going to take a year for the population to really hit and people to catch on
Right.
to the motion.
Now since that population, because we kind of all agree that is either the population has definitely gone down a little bit, and the fish are getting
Slightly.
smarter,
I
so
agree,
yeah.
the catch rate is lower.
Right.
Do you think, and you fish for snakeheads a lot more than us, do you think that is affecting the bass population? I think it is. I think that the combination of, the big snakeheads being caught, rod and reel, and more importantly, shot by the bow fishermen, leaves unguarded fry, smaller classes
Oh, yeah.
of fish everywhere. And dude, I have seen,
they're getting fed on like crazy.
I have
Yeah.
seen bass like absolutely hammering freaking
yeah.
bait balls,
Yeah.
like
I think-
in Furnace Bay up
I
on
think
the flats.
bass fishing has gotten progressively better every year
100%.
since snakehead.
100%.
Yes,
And like
I agree.
personally-
Everywhere.
They
I do.
know what a fry ball is.
Everywhere.
One thing I always tell anybody, like nature always levels itself out. Like,
Right.
you got to remember, like these fish were introduced, but like I don't consider like these tidal tributaries or whatever. Like they're not a closed system. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like those fish move in and out. Between creeks, whatever it may be. I'm not saying they go from Middle River to the flats. I'm not saying they do that. Like maybe I don't know. I don't
Right.
know. But I think like between like natural predators like bass, bluegill when they spawn, the fry and all that stuff.
Got a big
It's
cat,
just
dude, this
naturally
big ass catfish out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
it's naturally evening itself out.
They gotta
you
stop
know,
eating
and
them
all that kind of
24/7.
stuff, which I think is probably good because like again like I always say it's more competition. Like,
Right.
The bass are just gonna get bigger.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
more competition for
Yeah.
food, and there's always going to be shad. Like
Right.
when they spawn, there's always a mess ton of shad. So like it's not like we're gonna run out of shad or perch or whatever it may be. Like there's always going to be that. So it's just going to make the bass fishing better. Probably
The silting
And it's gotten
problem is a
better.
bigger problem than snakeheads.
I think blue cats are worse. I
The blue
completely
cats are
think blue
100
cats are
times worse than the snake.
Yeah.
I don't think the snakehead have done anything negative at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. And so not
yet,
that I'm a
anyways.
biologist
Not yet.
at
I'm not a
all.
biologist either, but we go out and we spend enough time on the water to make educated
you see
decisions on
differences.
what you see.
So here's
You see
my thing,
differences,
right?
And what I'm seeing is my bass fishing has progressively gotten better since the introduction of snake.
It seems
Of
like
snakes.
the snakeheads and you guys. This was actually my next question: is do they get out like Main River, Main Lake type of shit, right? Pools Island. Are there snakeheads there? I don't know. Maybe.
There's been
Probably.
people that said like, I've heard crazy shit.
So,
before, like they'll be like way deeper than what you would think in a
Right.
winter time. Do
So-
I believe that?
So what I'm getting at is
But
what I'm getting at, right? Is so you
I
have
definitely think some of those crabbers are catching them in their traps down deep and shit like that.
they're probably fantastic crab bait.
But like, what's deep? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
They have to
Like
be.
That's
They
kind
are,
of like,
man.
what are we talking? Like, what are we
Like,
talking?
really?
8 to 10
That's
feet.
awesome.
You know what I mean?
Like 10 feet, I could definitely see 10
Yeah.
feet in some areas. But
So-
like, I've heard
But they're
crazy
probably-
stuff
they're probably
like
just
20
fish that are, like,
feet.
I've caught them in 10 feet before.
But that's what I'm like. 10 feet is reasonable. Like I've heard like 20 some feet, and I'm just like, dude, like I don't know. I just don't see it. Like naturally, they have to come up for air. Like even in the wintertime, they still do it. Like,
Right.
They still have, even if like their metabolism slows down, which means they have to come up for air less. They still have to do it.
Right.
So why would they stick around in 25 foot when they
Right.
could be in 10 or 8 or 6 or like why would they do that? It just makes no sense to me.
So I guess my point is, if we can, us non-biologists here can agree that they're pretty much not isolated, but they're very concentrated in a certain type of area, a certain type of depth, whatever.
100%.
How much impact can they possibly have when you talk about shad, you talk about perch, all the bait fish that are a bass's diet? Because everyone wants to say the snakeheads are ruining the bass fishing and this, that, and the other. How much of those forage can they actually eat?
I
Because
think they're lazy.
a lot
I
of-
think they have very small bite windows.
like a lot of the forage doesn't stay in their bite area very long at all. Like
I've seen some snakehead do some ridiculous shit before.
I mean, people forget that like white perch, bass eat a lot of white perch, yellow perch. White perch go into the ocean. Like they don't stay in the back of Joppatown their whole life.
Right.
they'll
Like-
follow like the shore and all. That
Exactly.
Kind of
Like
stuff.
they
Yeah.
move. Like a lot of these main forages for these bass are very pelagic fish. They move. They may be born in the backs of the creeks and the marsh and all this other nonsense, but their adult life is spent on the bay. It's spent on in the ocean. Rockfish are a good example.
Right.
So it's like, yes, I think every introduced species has some sort of an impact, whether it be negligible or massively measurable. But I just don't see that the snakeheads have this impact that everyone, a lot of these old timers, and no offense, a lot of these old timers like they're gonna ruin it. It's like if anything, they've made it better, like you said. Bass fishing and the gunpowder in the last, it's gotten like so much better every year.
Right.
It's incredible now.
I hated on them a little bit, like at first,
Which
I
is
was kinda
okay. Like it's okay to like be like to jump on that right away because you don't know. Yeah, 100%.
you don't know.
I
But
will say that me and Tom see a shit ton of shad in areas where snakes are. Like a lot.
Tons
Like
of
I
them.
was out today. I sent him a picture of that spur for just like all chewed
Oh,
up.
I think it was Jude.
I caught 8 fish today. All 8 snakes or whatever. They weren't big. Like the biggest one was like 27, 26 or whatever. Like nothing crazy, but like the areas I was in was shallow water and had a lot of shad. Like shad everywhere. Like you would think they were fry balls, but it's just
They're
it's
getting
just
pushed
bait.
back in
It's
there.
just bait.
Right.
So like I almost think like I just think the big thing with snakehead is like I think they're lazy. I think they're lazy. It has to go in front of their face to an extent, and I think their bite windows are small.
Yeah.
But if it's on top, I feel like that's like their trigger.
But
Like-
they
like-
gotta
like-
eat to get that big somehow.
for sure,
Right.
for sure. But like they're not always, depending on where they're at, they're not always that big either. Like if there's a higher
Right.
population, like if there's let's say you got 1,000 snakehead in one spot and you got 100 in one spot, naturally you're gonna have bigger. It's the same thing as like putting crappie in a pond. Like everybody knows, don't put crappie in a pond
Because then it's over.
because then it's over. Like all the crappie are gonna eat all the small bait fish and the bass won't grow. It's the same concept. So like if you have an area where it's like super concentrated and really high with snakehead, like depending on what area, but like those fish don't get a chance to eat as much. So which I think some of these areas, like that's why your average fish is around 24 to 26 to 28.
There's too many
Instead of
in
being
one
like
area.
a mess ton of 30s and 32s and whatnot. You know?
Right.
Yep.
But I don't think like they're definitely messing with like any type of population at
Yeah.
all. You know, you see it out there. You see it out there all the time. You see bait everywhere. So
The bait is everywhere,
yeah,
like everywhere.
I personally, in my experience with the snakeheads this year, as far I've never gone out and purposely targeted snakeheads, but dude, bass and snakehead a lot of times just go hand in hand. That's
Yeah, they're
what I mean.
co-mingling.
Dude, they co-mingle and
Yeah.
everything. I haven't caught a snakehead this year though, but in my past experiences with the snakeheads, I find that snakeheads they're pretty big bait oriented foragers. I think snakeheads will eat
yeah.
larger stuff. Like,
think so,
I'm not saying
too.
bass do not eat larger stuff. I'm saying that I think those bigger snakeheads are much more willing to chase an 8-inch glide bait around here or something like that, or a 8 or a 10-inch gizzard shad than some
I
of the
think
bass
so
are
too.
around
Like
here.
just for the fact that like you've seen it because we do it like all the time. Like it happened today. Like a lot of today was sight fishing. Like the water was low, and I was just using like that
Inches
aspect
of
to
water.
like eight. But like I was using that aspect to just be looking around. Like I had 2 fish that I saw that were in that range of 30 inch. I'm not gonna say that they were, but they were better fish for where I was at, and those fish were willing to like follow stuff, which makes me think also like they're willing to follow bigger stuff. I think the bass also like the way bass are aggressive, man. Like tidal bass are nuts.
Dude,
Yeah.
tidal
They're-
bass,
they're-
it's
they're
a
very aggressive.
completely
They are
different animal.
crazy.
They're very
dude.
aggressive.
So like I feel like what they're so keyed in on like these like little small shad all the time. Especially this
Those
time of
bait, dude, those snakehead bait balls. I think those. I really like, just like you're saying, not to cut you off,
year. No,
but
you're good. You're good.
like the whole point that I was trying to say, like, I think the bass are much more willing to chase a lot of that smaller foragery, some of the smaller fry balls, the
Yeah.
snakehead balls and stuff like that.
Yep.
I think that big bait theory for snakeheads has a large application, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the snakeheads, I think, are a little bit more willing to spend a little, not maybe spend more calories, but chase something that is a bigger
It's gonna be
caloric
a decent
intake.
meal for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, I'll go back to it as well. Like, I think they're fucking lazy. Like, I just think that they are a lazy fish.
Dude,
They do it. Like, there are plenty of times you go out there and like they will react
Yeah.
like you think they would. There's tons of times, but just seeing like they're like when you actually see them and you're watching them. Like a bass, when you see a bass, they're always on the move. like they're always cooking it. Like
Always.
like they're always doing something. Like they're always moving. Like with snakeheads, like
They're
they're
just
just like
chilling.
hanging out.
Yeah.
So like I think like that's why they're willing to your stuff at
So
times too.
actually,
You caught a lot on bigger baits this year. so-
Tuesday when I was out, there was
Pea
like
break.
there was like a break against a bank. There's like
Pea
no
break?
grass, no structure against it.
This shit's
A lot of grass out in the middle.
Kyle's coming.
There was anyways, I was fishing an area, there was like a lot of structure in the middle. There was like a 20, 30 foot pocket of nothing. And I got my pole down on my boat. I'm just sitting there, I'm fishing the structure. I turn around, I see a snakehead, a big snakehead, cruising up this area with nothing in it. So I had a swim bait in my hand. I trucked the swim bait out the channel in front of where this fish is going. A freaking 1 pound bass comes up and smokes it as soon as it hits the water. And the snakehead's gone. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've some crazy stuff. Dude, I've had bass do some crazy things. I've had snakehead do some insanely crazy things too. Like you said, I think those windows when the snakehead are eating.
When they
though,
want to eat, they're going to eat.
When they eat, they want to eat.
Yeah.
But I've also taken crankbaits and just walked them right over top of a snakehead's
Don't
back.
even react.
They don't even move.
Or like you throw something at them and like the minute it gets near them, they're just like meow, like they're
So,
just,
yeah.
they spook and they're just gone. It's almost like they all have like their own little personality. you know,
Their own little
like bass, like
personality.
there's a pattern to
Now,
an extent. You
The
know.
smaller ones, I will say the smaller ones are definitely 100% more aggressive.
Way more.
Dude,
Yeah.
for sure.
Where we were the other day, I was just letting the boat drift along, and I see a fish sitting underneath a little clump of grass right in front of the boat. Like literally from me to that door, I literally dropped the frog right in the water in front of it, and it bit a hole through the grass to get it.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
just it's how they are, man. Like I feel like I consider the small ones being like teenagers. You know what I mean? Like
they're
so some of them
feisty.
smaller ones like they put up a hell of a fight sometimes.
Yeah.
Man. Like,
Kyle and
they get in the
dude,
boat for a
Barney and
while.
Zebek are about to have a fist fight in a freaking Waffle House parking lot somewhere.
Wait, so is this a real beef or is this a Facebook beef?
No,
Okay.
it's a stupid face.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's no beef at all. They're
Oh,
actually,
okay.
they're actually friends. I'm pretty sure.
Kyle's fired up about something else for
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely fine.
It's just Kyle says I'll fist him.
Like Stinkfist by Tool. We were listening to. See, so we were right. We were listening to a lot of Tool earlier before the show. Like, I introduced Chad to Tool. He'd never heard Tool before.
No, I've heard Tool before.
I mean, okay, so like Jerry Springer's going on in the
What's
comments,
going on
guys.
with your mic?
I don't know.
I see you got these new roads. They're nice.
What are they bickering over?
They're nice when they're working, but like the plugs have been weird. See, this one was giving us problems last week. I don't have.
Oh boy. It's like WWE in the comments right now, which I watched Money in the Bank, by the way, and let me tell you, it was fantastic. Like, I still proudly watch WWE, and anyone that tells me that shit's fake, we'll go to Waffle House.
That
right
is
now.
incredibly.
Hickory Waffle House.
Right. Oh, dude, that
No,
was
there's a
so
Boston
good.
No, you gotta go
Waffle
to
House.
the,
There's
you
a
gotta go to the
Boston
Happy
Waffle
Grace.
You know, if you leave the Hickory Lodge at 2:00 in the morning, you're going in.
where you
You're
go.
seeing a
Dude.
fight at Waffle House.
The Hickory Waffle House hits different. Oh my god! I used
So
to hit
good.
when I used to launch my boat at Broad Creek. I would, or not Broad Creek, Glen Cove. I would hit the Hickory Waffle House on the way back because it's not far out of the way. Yeah, the Folsom Waffle House. There's a well, I shouldn't say that. Somebody that used to work there
That's
does a lot of
step up.
meth.
Dude, the parking lot's not big enough for the ass kicking that I'm about to give you.
Dude, you know what? It's funny you say that because the
We're all trying to read what Kyle's saying. All I see is
We're
Kyle
all trying to
drinks
read
Bud Lights.
Kyle, you drunk?
dude.
Let's just
Okay,
you
so look,
honestly,
here's the deal.
Kyle's comment. You honestly have
Color-wise,
two studs on
definitely.
tonight, me and Tony. And I'd like to listen
Obviously,
more
yeah.
about what they throw color wise in different depth water.
White.
So here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna
We
happen.
threw a
right?
Ned break last night or Thursday night the whole time.
If you
well,
guys,
that was last night.
if you guys want to have a beef in the comments, I'm here for it.
like
But you must make a WWE style promo on your phone and,
And
post
post
it in
it.
the comments.
Post it in the comments.
Like it has to happen.
Do it right now.
Like oh my god, I would be so happy if this happened.
But like when it comes to color and depth, I feel like it's just whatever the reason.
Depth. There is no depth.
There is no depth. Yeah,
No deeper
like,
than 3 feet.
Yeah.
Wow, I take
4.
that back.
4.
Yeah, we've got them deeper than that
Yeah,
before.
like 4 foot. But like, it's what they're eating. Like
Yeah.
at the time, like if there's a bunch of shad in the area, you're throwing white. You
They're
know?
gonna be eating shad.
If there's no shad in the area, throw something
I will
more
say-
natural, kind of looking, like not necessarily green, but
something
brown.
that's not area specific, but where I was fishing previous this week, there was more of a harder type bank, and this time of year,
Oh my
The-
god.
all the
right,
bluegills
All right, shut
is-
up, you little bitch.
all the
dog.
bluegills are on beds right now
This is a
spawning.
good point.
Yeah.
So when I was out earlier this week, I noticed, hey, there's a ton of bluegill beds along this bank. I started throwing a swim bait along the bank. Caught a 32.5.
Yep.
I'm not going to stay too much more, but I have something very keyed in around gill bed areas and panfish bed areas that I.
There's fish around them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You want to hear a funny
Come on.
story about
Power bait
bluegills?
gill-
There, if there's bait fish, panfish in the area that are nesting,
There's going to be something that's going to eat them.
predators that are not far behind them. They're very close by.
Yeah.
So that is another. That's definitely another thing.
Everybody hates on that power bait gilly. He threw that fucking thing weightless, dude.
I've never thrown one of them.
Oh, and the
I've never-
bellows,
I've
bellows
never
gill.
found gill
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't.
No,
I
no,
don't know.
not the bellows gilly.
No,
like
it's
the
the-
power bait gilly. Like
it's the. I thought it was a Berkeley.
power bait Berkeley, whatever.
Yeah,
the
it's a
fuck
it's
it
a
is.
Berkeley.
Yeah,
It's
like-
the gilly. So
Yeah.
it was a. Not to hate on it, I do kind of hate on it, but
it
not
swims,
to hate on it.
You don't swim it. You use it like a fluke.
Yeah, it was a
That's how you use
JDM bait that was developed in Japan, and
And
then
it's a superior bait to mega bass, though, right?
Berkeley and Iconelli. Iconelli helped develop it.
But see, like, dude, like all this
some
stuff.
Japanese guy developed it.
We were
Going
talking about
on.
that earlier, the copying, and it's all the same
But, like,
shit.
That's
It
dude,
is.
that is another full on topic.
Another thing is too is like, okay, how far can you go with a swim bait? How far can you go with
Until
a
you're
frog?
catching grass
How-
every single cast.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I can
like,
throw
like,
a swim bait
they're
pretty
all
far.
but like they're all this. It's the same fucking. Like
I'll tell you
can't-
guys right
like,
now.
Like, what do you want to do? You want to make something look like a fucking alien? Like they all look the same.
I mean,
And if you want the
Bunker Hunt
best,
has
what-
the spider lure, so I mean, you know,
Done.
I'm not going to tell you what I've been catching them all on Thursday nighters, but that's a hint
Done.
right there.
what it boils down to, all the guys that are selling the lures.
Right,
they're-
you guys
they're
had no
selling-
idea.
you're
These
catching
bass
the
around here,
fishermen.
dude, these bass eat tarantulas. Y'all didn't know that. I'm
If
telling
I
you right now.
lose to somebody that's throwing a tarantula bait, I will sell my Ranger.
Little do you
Dude.
know.
I'm
Challenge-
going to throw one
challenge
next
accepted.
week now. I'm going to go buy one and throw it. Just
Challenge
for that
accepted.
purpose.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
You're the only one that's not allowed to do that.
I'll try it, man.
It's like a frogging prodigy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This motherfucker's got a horseshoe up his ass.
I
dude.
know,
Like,
I
it's
know.
like- but he fucking
You
puts the
both
bait.
have horseshoes up your
He
ass.
puts
but I
the
was-
bait in the right spot every time. Like I've talked to people that are like, how the fuck is he? Not to suck your fucking dick, Jesus Christ. But like, I talk to people like, you know, like how is he doing so well? And it's
Save
like
that sound effect on there?
he puts the bait he puts the bait in the right spot every time.
We were literally-
like, he just does.
Me and him were literally talking about that earlier on Snapchat because we were talking about how you were talking to Scott later on in the night, and
I
Scott
think
was
Scott's
surprised
head was just like when I told him.
What do
that.
you mean,
Yeah.
frog?
Yeah.
In
that you caught
July?
everything on a frog.
Yeah.
What?
But
Like,
I think
On a Cinco,
a
actually.
lot of things
Right,
like
so
we're not
yeah.
going to go into extreme detail. We'll let Tom say what Tom wants to say about it. But dude, frogging is not just throwing
It's-
it on some
yeah.
pads and ripping it across
It's
some
not
pads,
something that you
dude.
just pick up and do.
Frogging is a very precise thing.
right.
Yep.
Yep.
And
100%.
every time I go with him, I learn something too. Like,
If you're moving too
like-
fast, too slow, it don't matter.
yeah,
If you land a couple inches off this pocket,
They're not gonna
it's
eat
not
it.
happening.
and what was that slight change I made? And I ended up catching like I hooked one with the one frog, but I changed to another one.
Oh, yeah.
And like I got more bites
Oh,
that
yeah.
way. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just like there's so much different stuff that you could do.
It applies with the snakeheads. It applies
I'm
with
not gonna
largemouth bass, all the way around.
Yeah.
For
I'm
sure.
not going to say exactly what we did the other night, but I was catching them on a certain type of bait. And I'm like, I'm going to throw a different type because I know they're going to react to it.
Yeah.
And
It's a
then-
better bait in the grass too.
It just clicked.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like one thing I've come to learn too, like when you have like let's say like grass mats or reeds or whatever, you have to really pay attention. Like I told him I got fucking terrible ADHD. Like,
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Like,
Yeah, dude,
terrible.
straight up.
Yeah.
Every
Like-
good
like-
fisherman
like-
has ADHD.
I would literally like there were
It's
times
not
where like
an
I'm
ADHD
struggling. I'm
sport.
like, all right, I'm drinking 6 fucking beers. Like that's it. That's what I'm done. But like it comes to like it's all about like getting the cast in the right spot every single
Oh,
not
yeah.
every single time, but like it's visualizing like what's in front of you and what's a higher percentage area. Like
Yeah.
really, like you
Landing-
see grass and reeds. It's like okay, what's more likely to have a fish? You know, out of 10
Or
yards
just
of bank, or
Paying
whatever.
attention to what's around you.
That's a big thing. too.
Landing in that
That's a big
strike
thing.
zone,
So
being visual, and even listening. Dude, there's a
Last-
lot of times you'll key in on stuff from listening. I won't see it, but I'll hear it.
100% true with snakehead. Not as bass.
Not as
Yeah,
much
they're
with
they're
bass.
busting on stuff. Yeah, but snakeheads, like you'll hear one like 5 feet away from your boat, just come up, just go back down, grab air, go back down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll be able to catch that fish and catch it right there.
Yep. Yep. And
If
that's
you
the
catch
thing too is like it can be a distance away too. That's one thing about
You got to
snakeheads
be
too.
paying attention to where it's coming
Like
from.
you could see like that slight, you know, the snakehead swirl. Like you just see like that water churn.
Yep.
That's
and,
just
like-
one coming up and going.
But like it
straight
could be
back
it
down.
could be far away, and like you got to reel your bait in and then cast that location, and like the fish is still there. You know, like that's one thing
Yeah.
that I've come to like realize is like pay attention to your surroundings, but also pay attention to what's also right in front of you.
Right.
Because I've definitely missed opportunities because like of what's right in front of me. Like I've done it.
Just
plenty
like
of
you were
times,
saying
plenty of times.
earlier, though, there's a lot of times with the snakes, not so much bass, sometimes with bass, but a lot of times definitely with the snakeheads. like you're saying, you'll cast over to them, they'll still be there. You'll see something blow up on baitfish. The snakehead blew up on something that just crawled over top of its face, like we were talking about earlier.
Right.
It's still
Right.
sitting in that grass patch in
Yeah.
that general area.
Bass are fucking cooking it, dude.
The
They're
amount
fucking
of
moving.
the amount of times where me and Steve will get a frog blow up or a blow up on a walking bait and pull it away, and then can go back over that exact same spot and either get hit on again or mimic the blow up because the snakehead didn't move off that spot. It is
Yeah.
it's that spot.
Right.
You went
That's
over
where
that
it's-
pocket.
It
That
wants
is where
to
it
sit
is.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
And like it's probably like a slight transition in bottom. There's a slight pocket open.
Clump of
And
something.
like there's no grass in like a 1 foot by 1 foot spot. Like that's why that snakehead's sitting there. But I don't know like if you've noticed it. Like don't get me wrong. There's definitely bass that like blow up in the grass for sure, or chase bait.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bass, like you could tell, like you hear like that tail
Yeah.
hit the
Right.
water.
Oh yeah, you
A
can,
lot
you
of
can
them
tell
are
the
like-
difference between a bass.
But a
and
lot of them
snakehead.
are like they're on like the edge of like channels. Like you can tell the difference too. Like if they're on the edge of channels,
I think the
or
gulp
reeds,
sounds different.
and you
altogether.
almost like know like that motherfucker is moving. Like he's moving up or down depending on the tide.
Hey!
Yeah.
Bass are definitely harder to catch, I think,
Bubs, what the
chasing
fuck, man?
blow-ups compared to snakehead.
Oh, because they're moving.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that
they're
fish, you
always
see a
moving.
bass blow up in one spot. He's 30 feet away in 2
Yeah.
seconds.
Yep. I got Nick Ultras. That's cool. It's
My,
Taylor's.
my dog.
It's fucking Taylor's. It's Taylor's.
My dog just.
I hope she's not listening.
What
My
time is this
dog
fucking
literally
shower?
just
Like
chewed
where
the
are we at in
corner.
the fucking? Okay, it's a 24. Okay.
This dog literally just chewed the corner off of this freaking cooler while we're sitting here.
I'm about to buy her a new lunchbox.
Nick's
now.
like, it's
God
my
damn.
fiance's. It's okay.
Yeah, but if you tell her that the dog was cute, then you'll
He's
be
adorable.
okay.
Look at him.
Yeah, come on.
He's cute as shit.
Dude, the cuteness can only take you so
Look at that
far when you
face.
are a menace to
Look at
society.
that face.
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Damn it.
He probably smells my dog a lot, maybe.
I mean,
Why?
dude, no, it doesn't matter. If it's got a corner on it, he will chew
He's
on
gonna
it.
chew it.
Dude, I'm kind of blown that you didn't open my Snapchat. I'd be drinking the water from my Evinrude today.
Drinking.
My phone is actually
Yeah, it
right
was.
there,
So
I can't.
I
open
put
it
new
and look
spark
at it.
plugs in my boat today, so I started up, make sure everything, no hitting, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder what the water tastes like coming out of the pee hole, and it tasted better.
It tastes
Actually.
like gasoline.
No, it actually. You know what? I think what happens is, and this is
It's an RO system.
so a lot of people don't know this, but I think what happened is that
Kyle,
when
we are gonna get back to that comment.
so I think I really I, bel-
Yes.
after I pee in a minute.
So I truly believe this. I truly believe that the chemical reaction that goes on when that water gets sucked up through the blower unit and around your power head and everything, it actually neutralizes the fluoride that the government puts into your water to
taste that?
control you.
So, your third eye starts growing.
So
you should
I
just start
immediately-
drinking it. You
That
start-
one's not as good as the other
I
one.
immediately, after drinking that, was able to tell you
The other
that
ones are
the
better.
cocaine in the White House was obviously
ones are still
Hunter
good.
Biden.
Hunter Biden, 100%.
Yeah, so everyone-
It's so obvious.
It's
like,
right.
who else would it be? And they're like, oh, we're probably never going to be able to catch who's fucking, who's
Yeah,
fucking
you know,
blow this
thank
is.
God it wasn't anthrax, right? I mean, it's an absolute fucking joke, dude. Like, it's a complete fucking joke. Like, God forbid, dude, if I walk into the wrong freaking room and what I do without the proper clearance, my life is over. It's over. But if you bring cocaine into the White House, it's like, oh, sorry, that's just don't do it
okay.
again, there, buddy. Like, what the?
Did you see that video of him like fucking smoking crack, going 175 like a Porsche?
Dude, I love it. You know what I mean?
Like on his way to hookers.
Hunter
in
Biden,
DC,
Hunter Biden
or
is
Vegas
the
or whatever the fuck it was.
So like we're totally canceled.
Imagine
Facebook's
if Trump,
canceling us
imagine
right
if Trump's
it's gonna
kid
get
did
blocked
any-
and all that shit.
now. Hunter Biden is the epitome of intrusive thoughts
What
win
just
at all
happened to
times.
this podcast?
Yes, 100%.
I went.
just got
I went
political.
we
Real quick.
we went from to politically serious incredibly.
Change the
tangent.
subject so we don't get blocked.
Yeah, right.
He sent me that fucking
Okay,
picture.
what is-
of
I
all
want
that
to,
shit.
yeah, dude. Okay, so
I was
that
already
is
like
really good.
I was already 5 deep, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like,
So
here
like
we go.
here's the thing, right? So I'm not a craft beer guy. If it's not gold and or sold at NASCAR, I'm not drinking it.
But see, like, that's
that's
not
pretty
bad.
good.
But like,
They're pretty light.
It's the smell.
Can
it
I
smells
try
like
it?
It smells like tires.
Can I taste
It
it?
does, dude. I'm not.
I don't have. I don't
It
have
smells
any
like-
idea.
it smells like
I'm
tires.
not, it has a gym
I don't-
sneaker smell to it, in my
I don't
opinion.
smell
Or
tires.
yes,
It's got a gym
Like, you
sneaker
know, in high
smell to
school,
it, dude. I'm
you had
telling
your
you.
gym clothes,
yes,
whatever.
I
Yes.
swear to you, dude, it does.
I'm not drinking 18 of them.
Oh,
You know
Like,
what?
I'm drinking 18
wait
of
a minute.
these. I'm not
Yes.
drinking.
Is this considered an IPA?
Yeah,
These are, what is this one?
I would say
This
it
is
is.
a pale
It's a
ale.
craft.
That's the
Yeah.
only drinkable
It's definitely a
IPA
craft,
I've ever
right?
had.
It's definitely a
Yeah,
craft
I
of
mean-
some sort. Like, we got comments.
What are you saying, Kyle? Oh, Paul, what happened to your boat? Did you get it?
I know.
Did you get it working?
I got a piss.
To the back cave, Robin.
So,
Did you see Paul's site last night?
He was saying something about it, but I didn't really catch the whole thing.
I mean, he got it working. He went out and fished. I guess it's working
he
fine.
just got it working good enough. There's
What-
still
oh,
something
the
going.
trim,
Yeah.
right? The trim, something like
Yeah,
that.
something's going on with his trim.
He
Dude.
like went to put the boat in the water and it like wouldn't go down at all. And then he like took the screwdriver and set it down, and then it
wouldn't go up at
slowly
all.
come back up, and you could hear like purging air bubbles out of it.
That sucks.
He ran all the way back to his house, got a bottle of fluid,
Mm.
which I mean his house is only like what 2 miles away. Or something.
Yeah, it's like as far as you can cast the rattle trap.
But I think we were slightly delayed last night because Paul had just put his boat in the water. Like right at the last minute. Paul
Well,
was like going in.
actually, so to be fair, our definition of slight delay is anything less than 10 minutes prior to the actual tournament
Yes.
launch time. To be fair, because they say on the flyer 6 to 9, but it's always like 6:15 is when we launch. So, but yes,
I noticed that at the solstice that we were like 10 minutes early, which we were happy about though.
Oh yeah, you get like 10 extra minutes. Well, what me and him were talking about last night, like
it's like time to run to your spot, really.
it's
Right.
it's so hard to go out and fish for just 3 hours.
Because you really only have,
You
depending
enjoy
on what
two
kind of
days.
boat you have,
Like,
you really
I
only
just-
have 2.5 hours.
If you're not fishing for 12
Reality.
hours, you're not really fishing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree
no,
with that.
you got to know where the fish are before you go, or just hope for some
Yeah.
good luck. I mean,
I think they should do. I know it doesn't work with everybody's work schedule, but it obviously changes depending on sunset and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I say at least this time of year.
Tin Can Nation, Kyle Barney.
5 to 9.
That's right.
5 to 9. Like
Yeah,
just,
I would
just
do
do it. I understand like 3 hours is like harder, whatever it may be, but like, dude,
I don't want to fish
5
for
to
3
9,
hours.
dude,
I want to
like-
fish for 6 hours.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
there's a perfect medium, and I think 4 on a Thursday night
Yeah.
is.
I think
perfect.
I think
Bro,
we did miss the
think
mark.
I
though.
personally, I think it's perfect.
I think we missed.
It,
yeah,
it could be like.
I
one
feel
more-
like that last half hour, you're just like, oh, like you're just
Yeah.
like trying to like,
Oh, yeah, dude,
you're
just
trying to
to
do
do
this,
anything
that,
you
and
can.
third.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like if you had 4 hours, it's like you could hit this spot or that spot and just like erase it off the
Hey,
list.
what's up, Greg?
You know what I mean?
That last like
Greg's
45 minutes, the anxiety starts to hit so
Dude.
hard. It's like
So-
dude, where are these fish at? But just like you were saying, it was like 8:30 when you got your final two. So sometimes it's just like
no,
that. Like,
it was
yeah.
8:45 when we got our third fish, and we were out like far. It was okay. So it was no shit. It was like as Buck's putting the fish in the live well, I'm putting the hammer down. Like it was. I mean, dude, I'm on plane like doing like. I'm rolling, and the fish is still in his lap. He's trying to get the hook out. I'm like, put that motherfucker in the live well, dude.
it was like 8:45 when like we were like, oh shit, like we're not gonna make it back in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
In our boats, like between me and Tom, like
If
we
I
gotta
wouldn't-
leave like with plenty
Yeah.
of time to get back.
If I
Right.
wouldn't have been able to get on plane where we were, which was way too shallow for anybody else to get on, maybe besides you.
you got the jack plate, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
See, dude, with the
I
jack
can get on
plate,
plane in a
you
foot
should
of
be able
water.
to plane off in less than that.
Oh yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
It's
Just
just
dig
the
that, you
grass.
gotta
I still
dig
got
that
grass
prop
gets
into the
wrapped
mud
around.
just a little bit, but you'll get up.
I have a brand new Bob's machine, 6-inch setback.
Been sitting
That's
in your
what I
garage
got.
Sitting in a
for 2
box
months.
right now.
Is it hydraulic?
It's like yes, it's
He just
complete.
ain't put it on yet.
They're
It's
so nice.
It's fucking fishing time, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't want. I
Right.
don't want. I just want to get it. I don't care if it's raining. I want to get out as much as I can. Like I'm fine with like. I'm not fine with putting it on later.
Dude, I was so
I just put it on
scared.
because I want to fish. You know.
So I went to Intercoastal today, which if you haven't Evinrude, that's the place to go, and got new spark plugs for my boat because
Is
my
that the place to go and buy something different than an Evinrude?
yes.
You have
Yeah.
an Evinrude on your boat.
What's that?
You have an Evinrude on yours.
Yep.
So why
I
you
thought
got
you
a
had a
cover over it?
Mercury.
It's been,
All right.
It's been
All
good.
right.
It's been good for you for
Damn.
so long.
Dude, so okay, so here's the thing, and we've hit on this before, right? Like the G2 So what killed Evinrude wasn't the technology of the motor. The technology of the motor was good, but it wasn't better than what was out. What killed Evinrude was management. There was and now they're killing themselves. Like watching I think it's called Rotax is,
Well, I
is
thought
what's
they
taking
were already
over.
dead.
Yeah.
So they're not. The name Evinrude is no longer in service. The technology of what was Evinrude is now being used as Rotax, which is going to be the absolute biggest joke that the marine industry's ever seen. But basically, more or less, what happened is Evinrude had a badass two-stroke. The G2, when it ran, was pretty awesome. The problem is they were they were
Craig
expensive.
says what killed them is they blew up all the time.
And he's right. So the E-Techs, like mine, the G1s were like the peak of BRP Evinrude. BRP happened in 2001. Did he
Shoo!
fart? Did the dog fart?
Oh yeah, he ripped one.
The
Yeah,
dog
I smelled
farted.
one earlier. It's pretty rough.
Stinky bastard.
So BRP, the G1 Evinrudes were really, really good. And basically what had happened is right about the time that G2 came out, the four strokes, the Verados, the shows, Suzuki outboards were getting, Honda was another one, were big. So Evinrude was sitting, and I've researched this way too much because I have ADD. But essentially what happened is like Evinrude had a crossroads, and it's like we either develop a four-stroke in an industry full of badass four-strokes where we're already behind because we don't have one to build off of, or we put all our eggs in the two-stroke basket, hope it works out, and whatever. The Evinrude G2 was faster than the Pro XS. I don't care what anyone tells you. The Evinrude G2 is a faster motor than the Pro XS. Like Greg said, had reliability issues. Guys that are running their boats, 100 to 200 days a year, can't afford to be broken down for 20 days a year, 30, 40 days a year. So that was a problem. And really, the problem was not with Evinrude, it's with the EPA.
When you buy a motor for $15,000 to $20,000, you shouldn't have to be repairing it 30 days a year.
It's
Correct.
a boat.
Yeah.
It's a boat motor. Like
Right.
it's going to have problems. But like,
Right.
Why can we
correct
make
me-
Why can we make car motors last a lifetime, but not a boat motor last
You
2
can.
years?
It's
without
called
problem?
Suzuki.
Well,
You can't.
and that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Is like, wasn't Suzuki like one of the last ones with like the newer four-stroke fuel injected aspect where like they waited till everybody else
Right.
got their shit together and like they came out with something
Right.
like really good, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I don't know if I'm right on
dude.
that, but like Suzuki's like they make a good motor.
Every
right now, like-
every waterman running an outboard that actually relies on their shit to make money is running a Suzuki SS. It's like not even close.
I agree with Greg. I'm honestly, I have a Merc on my boat, but that's just what Rangers come with. But
Right.
if I had a choice, I'd have a show on
But
my boat all
so
day long.
without
I'm not
getting
impressed with mine.
Yeah.
without
Yeah,
getting too
Showmax
far
all
into the
day.
weeds, is what really killed Evinrude was the EPA said like, yeah, you're gonna make a two-stroke, but you're gonna play by the
EPA
four.
is the freaking choke off of the world.
And that's but like if you go back in the day, dude, like the Johnson Fast Strikes, the Evinrude Intruders, the XPs, the GTs, they were like
there goes the other corner.
just as good, if not, they were like the deal back in the day. So as the EPA restrictions got more and more stringent, it was easier to get there with a four-stroke versus a two-stroke.
Right,
Like
right.
the FICT technology, people don't like to admit it, and Greg probably knows this, right? But like E-Tech and FICT technology are almost indecipherable. The problem is the FICT was so bad that it took them so long to figure it out that when they did figure it out, they rebranded it E-Tech because everyone was like, FICT? Fuck no. Like it was I blew up a FICT twice. It was a horrible motor. The E-Tech's the same technology, it's vastly improved. So they were always playing catch up. And it was because it was, oh, well, you have a two-stroke and it has to burn this clean. And it's a two-stroke, dude. Like, I have a 1983 Yamaha dirt bike sitting in my shed.
Tom, there's a gay guy
Like-
over here for you.
Uh-oh.
Drew Taylor, who's
Do you have somebody to tell us about?
What am I missing?
it
Drew
says
Taylor is Tom
is
Signal.
Oh, Drew Taylor. What's up, buddy?
You guys are going to have to, like, get on Snapchat later.
Yeah,
Technically, according to the government standards, yes, but no.
yeah.
Not
To
classic.
the government standards.
But yeah, so kind of to put this to bed is essentially the EPA is what killed Evinrude, OMC, and BRP. So the EPA has killed Evinrude motors twice. which is unfortunate because at the end of the day, like whatever your opinion is on Evinrude, like I have an Evinrude and my opinion on it is not that high. I'll be completely honest with you because I've blown up 2 of them. But like the oldest outboard in the history of the United States of America is no longer in business. That's not good.
Right.
At the end of the day, that is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it is what it is. But I was messing with mine today, and I'm pretty confident that I fixed it. So we'll see what happens.
I've luckily had 0 problems with mine.
What do you don't have an Evinrude, right?
No,
You have a Yamaha.
Mercury.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Like I've had. The other thing that
I've
scared
had
me the other
problems with
day is
mine.
like I was hitting 2 footers and like the fucking kill switch like pulled the fucking like it turned the motor off like full fucking plane.
Isn't that the
And I was
worst?
just like oh.
Well, it's like right there beside your legs. You could very easily hit it.
That
I
is the
think that's-
worst
I don't know
thing.
exactly what happened, but it was either that or like it wasn't completely on, whatever it was,
Yeah.
but like it shut off like mid plane. I was like, here we go. Here's my moment to fucking blow a motor up.
Oh,
Yeah, like-
so Paul has a good comment, and I want to touch on that because it just
It's not if it
light
happens,
bulb,
it's
right?
when it happens.
Paul said it is what it is. Even the biggest manufacturers make company-ending mistakes. What is the next bass boat company that goes under, and why? I say Icon. I say Icon.
No, I say Vexus.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that is a
that's good
very
one.
good option.
Vexus
Sure.
100%.
That would
the one
probably
that
be my
runs
They
second.
They
make
the
beautiful
hybrid.
boats.
They do, but like it's like isn't it like a hybrid between like aluminum and
So-
It's in the live
fiberglass or
wells.
something?
Yes.
It's in your
like,
live wells and your
Yes.
storage and stuff like that.
Right.
But
So
I think
essentially,
Vexus would be the next one.
so
to
the
go.
hull is aluminum, and that they came out
And
with
then
that
Ranger.
first. Dude, don't even.
yeah,
Don't even. So the hull's aluminum, and the top parts of the top cap are fiberglass. So it's considered a hybrid,
Right.
but it doesn't run like a hybrid. I agree with you. I remember when Vexus came out, and they were like the first $90,000 boat on the market. And everyone basically shit their pants. Paul's good. Paul's a good comment again. Triton, because as soon as Johnny Moore starts losing income, he's going to consolidate again. And I agree. with you.
Zachary made a good point. Ballistic.
Ballistic was.
Dude, we still haven't heard the whole
We
story
still
on
have
that.
not heard about
Like
that.
the whole Lee Livesey story. Like I heard that he didn't like put a payment on the boat, and that's why they were like,
Vexus
"Hey
is
man,
not an ugly ass boat. That VX21 they have out is freaking sexy as hell.
yeah." We had Lake Anna when we seen
Yeah, that thing is
Mr. Paul's.
badass. Yeah.
Dude, like I don't know, man. Like we saw a lot of Vexuses around, and I just like, what is the appeal to a boat that marginally handles rough water better and is 5 mile an hour slower than the slowest boat on the market?
I hope
which
that
is
doesn't
a
happen,
Ranger.
Paul, because I personally
Like-
like the Triton, the Tritons a lot.
Dude, that 20 TX or whatever just came out from Triton. It's badass.
Well,
It's absolutely.
Triton's like a
amazing.
rougher water boat, isn't it?
No, hell
No.
no.
It's a
Triton's
speedboat.
So yeah, Triton's a faster boat.
Adam's got the right idea.
What do you say?
John
Ranger
boat
did.
or die.
Yeah.
I'll die. I will die. But no,
I
so
will say
Dude,
that
well,
I
you could
will.
definitely have the best of both worlds.
You got
my
3
friend.
John boat guys here in the
Yeah,
room.
I
I'm
will
outnumbered.
eventually.
Sorry.
I will
I'll
get.
take it.
I want to. We talked about this before. I would get a skiff style, like flats Florida style
That'd be
skiff,
sweet,
because you can do a lot in them boats. They draft like 0 inches.
especially
like
for what we do.
that's what I'm
running
saying.
shallow,
Like, you can still
floating
catch
shallow.
largemouth in it. Like you still do a lot of things in them things.
I
but
think Barney's got a really nice setup for
he
around
does. He
here.
does.
Oh, yeah.
He does,
Barney
for
has
sure.
a very nice setup for.
I
around here.
still
with the
think-
surface drive. Yeah.
I think that if you want to get the ultimate bass fishing machine, it starts with a G. It's a Gambler, because it's the fastest boat with storage out there. Like, you got to remember, they test
There's
these
gonna be
hulls
so
from the
many
factory.
comments about that.
I mean, like.
Dude, there's not a loaded boat. There's not a loaded bass boat out there other than Allison and like Bullet that's faster than a Gambler. And comparing a Bullet and an Allison in terms of rough water capability and storage, it's not even close.
I think the big thing is like if I were to pick a I would never. Own
What
a
does
bass
Greg
boat.
mean by hybrid? The Vexus is hybrid.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
aluminum
Okay,
hull
okay,
and
but why
fiberglass
would
top cap.
Florida make you want to have a hybrid? Greg?
Because Florida, you can go from inshore fishing to offshore fishing in no time.
I think what he means is like like a Skeeter center console.
You mean like a center console, or like something that can go to big water?
I don't care about offshore.
But,
I don't
like,
care
all,
if I live
all
in
those
Outer
skiffs,
Banks.
like they handle rough water,
Right.
like all like Beaver Tail and like Hell's Bay skiffs, like they're
I thought that thing was doing like 30 to 35, Kyle, and I heard about the new motor, but
I'm gonna take my Ranger to haul over
Flat
inlet
spoke
just to
and
be on
gas
YouTube.
spoke, which I would consider like
okay, yeah.
I would consider like beaver
Oh.
tail skiffs. A
Yeah,
flat
so
spoke
that's like
mixed
the
with a bad
Blazer. Blazer makes a good one.
What's that skiff
Skeeter.
boat that's out there that's a custom made boat that it had like it was that black boat with twin 300s on it.
Gator. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know
I know
what
what
I'm
you're
talking
talking
about.
about.
But,
I saw it on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you need to go that
I don't know what
I'm
it
not
is.
saying you need to go that stupid, but that style would be gnarly. Like that's pretty wild.
It would be sick, but like when I say like I would never, I don't mean like to offend anybody, but like I would never own a bass boat.
Ouch.
Right.
Like
It is
like-
very,
like-
very one
like
purpose.
it's so
Yes.
niche or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I respect
Fantastic
everybody
boats.
that has them. They're beautiful boats. They do what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
But like, I feel like if I were to get a bass boat, it has to handle rough water. Like it has to be a boat that
And
can
then you
handle
gotta have another boat
rough
to go
water.
and do everything else.
I'm not worried about like what's the fastest, what has the most storage. We all know bass boats come with a fucking shit ton of storage. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like, you don't need. Okay, if your rod locker goes from 20 rods to 30 rods, dude. Like, I got like fucking 12 at home. Like, I don't know. Like I'm not that pressed. There are guys that are hardcore. There are guys that like do this to pay their mortgage. So I can't really say anything. But like, when it comes to like bass boat stuff, it's got to be able to handle rough water. I'm not that worried about 3 mile an hour or 5 mile an hour worth of speed. If it handles rough water, that's the big thing.
See, my thing is for bass fishing though, you're not gonna buy a freaking 18-foot center console and fish off of. I mean,
Oh,
you
no.
can.
It depends on what
I
it is.
just don't like them guys that fish the Thursday nighters with Lethal Injection Outdoor. They fished a 20-foot center console G3.
Yeah.
That whole series. However, can they go in the back channels? Yes, they can. Did they? I didn't see them back there too much. That doesn't mean they didn't. But it's like, most people aren't taking 20-foot center consoles back in the channels on the mud flats.
We seen the one guy on the bush doing that. The other guy in that Carolina skiff.
Carolina skiff.
There was a guy that's got a teal Carolina skiff.
There's that one dude that
It's
has
been
that.
like in a foot of water.
There's that
just
one
snaking
dude
and fishing
that
all
has
the
that
time.
teal Triton.
Yes,
With
dude.
power poles.
Seen him
That dude
everywhere.
Oh,
fucking
yeah, dude.
smokes them,
I've seen
dude. Like
them
I
all.
follow him on Instagram. Like that dude's out there catching them all the time.
Yeah,
he's an
it's-
older guy, but like he's
Largemouth?
out there. He's catching
Everything.
a mixed bag kind of dude.
Okay,
Like
right
snakehead, largemouth. But like I'm not saying he's catching fucking 20 pounds, but
Dude,
like
that
he's
freaking
out there.
boat,
He's
that
catching
boat is
them. You know,
huge.
that is a
Boat
big
is a
boat.
big ass.
I saw him there at Carol Island one night. I was with Taylor out Dundee, and I saw him out there. And I'm like, God damn, dude! Like he's in water there. I'm like, I'm surprised that boat's not stuck. In
Yes.
Yeah,
water.
Paul.
Yes,
that's
Paul.
it.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago in a Thursday nighter, we ran to a spot and he was pulled down in it. I was like, God damn it. Shit. Like, I mean, you gotta respect it. Like, hey man, like you got here first, I got you.
Yeah.
Don't mean I'm not gonna fish the outside edge of it though. I
Yeah.
mean,
So Thursday night, everybody, Chad, you weren't there, but who was the guy that pulled up at like almost 10 o'clock at night and was getting ready to put his boat in the water?
it's my uncle.
This is Uncle.
What was that about?
Yo,
That's his
no
uncle.
way, dude.
As soon as
How
I heard
can
that,
you-
I'm like, it's his uncle. It's his
Like,
uncle.
There was
How
a
can
dude
you
in a
not
sedan
tell me
pulling
about
a bass.
this?
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute.
Ford Fusion, baby.
Okay.
No.
Ford Fusion. It'll pull
No.
a fucking
What was that,
tank.
Skeeter?
All right,
Hold up,
all right. So here's
Wait
what
up, hold up,
happened.
wait.
It'll
So for
pull a
anybody
tank.
that doesn't know this, Tony's uncle is a fucking legend. Dude, this guy is pulling like an
Did he catch
18-foot
anything?
Skeeter with like a Ford
No.
Taurus.
Catch a buzz
And
at
like
least?
he
I think
is
he
just
caught a couple catfish.
what is he pulling it with?
It is a Ford Focus. Ford Focus
It is
stick
a-
shift.
Stick
An
shift,
older one, too,
old
not
Ford
even a new
Focus.
one.
It's like a 17 or 18-foot fiberglass Skeeter.
All right. No. It's 15 foot.
It
by the
is?
way. Yes.
That's
It's
what I'm
like the
saying. It looks
smallest
like a short
fiberglass bass boat you can even get.
Either way, homeboy is getting to the ramp.
So we're sitting there and we're bullshitting, right? And I see this guy, the only person in the world that wears a button down and khakis to go fishing. I'm like, oh shit, here we
He
go.
carried spare two-stroke oil
Oh yeah.
That's
Yes.
smart. Way too
Dude, he's
smart.
bailed you out twice.
once.
Was it once?
It
Okay.
was once. He
So
did. I
so-
owe him my life.
So we're sitting there, and we're just bullshitting, and I see this man is standing there like this because he obviously knows I fish every Thursday, and he's looking for me. I'm like, hey, come over here, blah blah blah. I call his name. He's like, oh,
come meet
bye.
my friends.
And he's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I thought he came for weigh-in, and he was like, just late. He's like, no, I'm going out. And I'm like, dude, it's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like pushing
It was late. It was late as shit.
So I'm like, so this morning I called him, like, so where'd you fish? He's like, I fished close to the canals, but I was getting eaten by mosquitoes, so I just went out to Maxwell Point and threw a swim bait and caught some catfish. Okay. All right. That's what he does.
He probably did not have a single other boat come by him the whole other night, though.
It's legendary. I'm telling you.
Sure.
Like, it's like fishing with Bill Dance. Like, it really is like fishing with Bill Dance. Like, it's incredible. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So he's like the most awesome person in the world, but like his perception of the world that we live in is not the same as ours.
Doesn't
all?
he have a pickup truck
Birds
to
are
pull the boat
not
with?
real.
Oh, yes. So we have
Dude, his
a,
farts
oh my
are
God.
gnarly, dude.
we have
Popcorn.
we have a
You stink.
2004 Chevy 2500 HD with, wait for it, 28,000 miles on it that he could pull the boat with, but he chooses not to because it
smell
burns
really
too
bad.
much fuel. That boat,
For what, the once a week he goes
yeah,
fishing?
right. That Skeeter is the Skeeter that I learned how to fish in. Like, I learned how to crab in that thing. I learned how to fish in that thing. I learned how to not run a boat in that thing. I remember one time we were sitting at Robin Point striper fishing, and it was windy and like bad for that boat at least. So I was like, we got to leave like right now. So I'm like, look, start the motor. I'm pulling up the anchor. So he waited until I had the anchor in the boat because it would save gas. Yes, that 10 seconds of runtime saves gas. So what happened? The motor didn't fucking start. So we ended up 6 feet deep in the reeds at Robin Point in a lightning storm because the boat wouldn't start. And I'm like, we're going to die at Robin Point somewhere in APG. Mosquitoes are horrendous. Oh, dude. It's the whole
Oh,
thing.
wait,
They're
you're up
different
on the
down there.
shoreline of the Aberdeen Proving Grounds?
At Robin Point, if you know, it's like in the middle of the mainland of Pools Island. It's like towards the mainland.
Yeah.
We used to sit there and striper fish back in the day. I haven't fished it in years, but yeah, you know,
Oh, he's chewing the fucking
Yeah,
cord.
don't bite that.
dude, there has been
See,
moments.
Kyle.
There has been a lot of moments where we like me and him have been fishing. Like, and I would take friends of mine from high school, and I was like, "Look, man, like you can't expect to catch anything. Like it's an experience, and you will understand when we go." The best one was when we were pulling in the driveway, and some guy was pulling out of our driveway. So, long story short, the guy had bought my grandfather's motorcycle, which was his pride and joy, because he was old. He was in his 80s at the time, so he couldn't ride the damn thing. So he sold it, and the guy, you know, which was cool, brought the motorcycle over to the house. He's like, look at what I did to it, blah, blah, blah. And we're pulling in the driveway as the motorcycle's pulling out of the driveway, and he's driving a stick shift and just stalls the car out. And the driveway's pretty steep at the base, and he smoked the clutch, dude, going up the driveway. I mean, like, visually smoke is everywhere. Burned the clutch up, like $2,000 in car damage. Oh, it was incredible. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, if you guys have seen him out there, if you guys see him out there, please tell him that, like, you know me, because he loves that shit. He'll fish the Zebco 33. We went out fishing like 3 years ago.
Classic.
Practicing for the Middle River Threefer, or the first threefer in recent history that launched out on Middle River. We're fishing the gunpowder. Dude, he caught like a 6.5 pounder in the gunpowder.
Nice.
He gets it in the
Hey.
boat. I grab it and everything. He's like,
Throws it in the cooler.
He wanted to. He wanted to, and I was like, I got news for you. We're on my boat, and that fish is not going in the cooler. That fish is going back right here because I'm coming here Thursday. Like, and then I watched Paul Batters catch it. It was like 5.5 pounds. So, but yeah, no, it's an experience. Every time you fish with that guy, it's like, what's going to happen today? Like,
That sounds about right.
dude, it's pretty awesome. I try to take him fishing as much as I can because it's that's how I grew up fishing.
He's on fire, dude.
Look at him.
That motherfucker is.
Shooting parts of you.
Dude, my little
I don't wanna
5-pound
say
dog. Dude, you can say whatever you want. My little 5-pound dog is lighting this room up right now. Like this.
I gotta ask, what is that?
That is a giant gummy worm.
Okay.
Oh, dude, the
I was
story
kind of
behind
confused,
that.
like what
Yeah.
the fuck's going
That
on
is a
here? When the cameras are
fantastic
rolling,
story.
like
Yeah. So
So, like, essentially, what had happened is that we were in our normal debauch. We were doing our normal. Damn it, my mic just died again. Hold on,
That's so
hold
funny,
please.
I can hear you.
Hear me though. Testing. Okay, we're back. So we were doing our normal.
Hey, you see this button in the middle?
Yes.
Make sure that light. There's 2 lights on your mic. Make sure both lights are on.
Yeah, they're
one of
both
those,
on.
If one of them goes off, hit the button and see if it comes back on.
Okay. So, long story short, is our normal debaucherous Friday. We're talking about this, that, and the other, and somehow
Paul went there.
somehow the topic of pornography, which none of us watch because that's wrong.
Never.
What's
Yeah.
porn?
Yeah, came up, and I think I made the comment
Hi,
of
Mom.
like, "What are you doing, stepworm?" So our number one, our producer who doesn't seem to show up to the show anymore. By the way, Megan Jaster was like, "I'm gonna get you guys a gift," so she bought a 3-foot gummy worm that is conveniently in the middle. It's split, so one half is red and one half is blue, so that you can eat it together as a pair, which Chad and Paul have not done yet. So we're still
It's
kind of waiting for
it's
that.
It's still in the wrapper, and I just
Yes, that's what she said.
It's a beautiful
It's gonna
beautiful
stale,
it's
right?
a beautiful
Like-
specimen. Okay, Bubbers. No.
He ate the Wheaties.
That's a big F.
That's a
That's
big
a-
fuck.
That's a massive F.
Oh no.
that's a big
That's a giant fuck.
Who did we get that box from?
We're not talking about that right now.
Oh my
no.
god.
I didn't even realize he
Fucking
was doing
serious right
that.
now, dude.
I thought he had like the blue moon thing.
I'm gonna fucking kill this dog.
Dun dun dun.
That's what I said, dude. Like, I love him, but he is. All he does is make trouble around here. How did he even get it? It was on the refrigerator.
You are.
He must have knocked it down.
What the hell is this? Is that a Velcro strip? Where did that even come from?
Jesus.
Anything that he can put in his mouth and eat, he will do it. Look, he's going after paper right now. Paper, anything on the ground. He's ridiculous, dude. And I'm telling you, you can't.
You just gave him a bone too. He should
I
be
know, I
pretty
gave him his
occupied.
bone. Bubs, where's your bone? Get your bone, dude. Where's your bone?
Oh no, I can't reach.
Where's your bone?
I got it. Here, there you go. Go run away and be happy. There you go.
He said nope.
Oh. No, it's not just-
He's
You-
wild, dude.
Did you
just,
have more
like-
patience than me? I can tell you that right now. But
Yeah,
anyway,
well,
box
I mean,
was that?
dude, he's
I mean, he's a
He
puppy.
literally-
though,
he's-
like-
huh?
Is that a Briar box?
yeah,
Yeah.
Ouch.
yeah.
You'll be able to find another one on eBay.
Right.
And he is freaking. He just turned 1,
Yeah.
so like he's still a puppy, but dude, he is boneheaded. He is boneheaded. As the day is wide, that dog is boneheaded.
He just looked at his bone and he's chewing the tag on that pillow. He was just chewing.
That's
like,
what I'm
he
saying, dude,
picked the
like,
bone up and put it down. And then
He
started chewing the
doesn't.
tag
He
on the
only
pillow.
wants to chew on what he's not supposed to.
That's more fun, right?
So I'm not going to tell you that I've done this before. However, I would say if you want him to stop chewing shit, get some hot sauce, put it on there, watch him chew it a second time.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen. We had a
Never
dog
gonna
that
happen.
used to like to lick on like shit in the yard. I put some the bomb on that shit one time. Never happened again.
I'm sure.
Dude, that dog slobbered for like
I-
3 days.
I
Like-
just so happen to have some habanero flakes at home if
There
you
you
would like
go.
some.
Dude, oh my god, are we gonna
Habanero
go down that
flakes
Those
all
things
road?
over
would
the house.
light you up.
Dude, I feel like he
You're
would
catching a
die.
whiff.
He's like 5 to 10 pounds. Like I feel like he would just die,
I mean,
He
or
might
just like
poop fire for
spontaneously
about-
combust.
Yeah.
just so like if you just all right, so if you just take a toothpick and literally like dip it. If you get some like super hot, I'm a spice head. Like I
I'm the
love.
same way. Yeah.
If it
As
causes
I'm getting
extreme
older,
pain,
it's not agreeing with me anymore.
like if it causes extreme pain and panic, I want in, right? So like if you get like super hot, just take a toothpick and just whatever you don't want them to chew or whatever, like rub it on it. You don't even have to have liquid on it. Just enough, like the toothpick has a color to it. Rub it on. Watch them do it a second time. Over. Like
So
I'm
they
telling
start
you.
sniffing on it, they're not going to go after
Dude,
it.
I took a teaspoon of this crap. It's called Extreme Regret, the hot sauce. Oh my god! Like I thought I was gonna die. Have you done the one chip challenge?
I've done the one chip challenge or whatever. I do a lot of, I mean, like if I eat hot sauce, it's all habanero stuff.
Right.
Because I think habanero is like the best, like,
Habanero's got a good flavor.
it's got good
Right.
flavor
The
with
flavor,
spice. It,
right,
like,
exactly.
it goes on a lot of shit, but like Carolina Reaper stuff, like that's
It's the next. It's a whole new level,
It really is.
And
I
it's
don't
just
want to sit there
pain.
and sweat
Yeah.
and cry.
dude. The problem with the Reaper is like it doesn't stop.
It lingers.
It doesn't
lingers.
stop. Like
Yeah.
10
Gets in
minutes
the back
after
of your
I've
throat.
eaten. 10 minutes after I ate the thing, it's like okay, I'm still hurt,
Yeah.
and it's
you know.
getting worse. Why?
You feel it in the back of your throat too. Like that's the worst part about it. Is like the tongue, like the stinging on the tongue is like okay, like you know, you knew this was coming, but like when you start getting it in the throat, it's like all right, like am I gonna like is this gonna swell up? I'm not gonna be able to breathe.
That's like the
Probably
scorpion.
so.
So the Extreme Regret, it's got the flavor of the habanero, which is delicious.
Did I mention he also peed in my living room?
I mean, they're gonna do that every
Look,
once in
man,
a while.
like your dog is basically
just
birth
be
control for
thankful.
me, right?
Just be very thankful it's not a cat.
That's true.
Yeah,
yeah,
true,
dude,
dude.
for sure.
Cat piss is the worst.
Yeah.
So, shut
Well,
up,
cats
Megan.
are like dicks.
Damn
like
it.
a cat would hop up like right here, right now,
And just piss all
decide
over
to, like,
everything.
knock everything off the table
Are you
because like
drinking
it's
that
in its
beer?
way.
No.
Like I'm just gonna fuck everything up.
So Megan likes to like brag that like I did the hot chip, you did half of it. It doesn't even count. If you don't do the whole thing, I don't want to hear
You
it.
gotta eat the whole chip. It really
Did you
it
eat
wasn't
the whole
that bad.
chip, or
It
did you
definitely
eat the
like-
other half?
She's
I
asking
ate the whole thing.
You see her last comment?
And
She's
you
asking about
refuse
the
to do the hot chip challenge now.
I've done the hot chip challenge.
You won't do it again.
Why do I want to do the same chip challenge twice? I'll
Was
wait
it
till
that
the
miserable?
Third, huh?
I'm gonna wait till the new one comes out.
Was it that bad?
I mean, like it wasn't like I wasn't panicking, but I was like, okay, this is hot.
It definitely
Like-
fucking gets you for sure. Like it,
Did
Oh,
you do
yeah.
it?
it definitely like it lingers for a long fucking time. Like milk doesn't even help the situation. Like it doesn't coat like your tongue and all that shit. Like it definitely lingers.
The biggest
way
thing,
too fucking long.
the biggest thing about like if you're gonna eat something like that is you need to prep. Like, do not eat that shit on an empty stomach ever, because
'Cause
you
you're
will
gonna-
have cramps
yeah.
and it will be miserable. Like, make sure you have a full stomach. I mean, not like full, but like have a meal in you. You know, maybe an hour before, drink some milk to coat your stomach up, and then eat the hot chip. Because then if you don't, like, you're gonna just be screwed.
Well, I've heard like a lot of those guys that do like all the hot, like the guys on YouTube that do all like the hot eating stuff, is they'll do the milk beforehand, but they eat like carby stuff.
Yeah,
Like bread or
Yes.
Something
cookies
to
or whatever,
soak it
like
up.
something to soak it up.
Right.
Like, but like then again, it's like you feel like shit after eating like
Right.
fucking cookies and milk.
Yeah,
So
what
why
the-
why are you gonna want to eat like something that like is
You'll
real
eat a
fucking,
fucking
hot?
ghost pepper after that. Like,
Fuck that, dude. Eating the stems. I've known like all those like
That's
guys
the
that eat,
hottest
I
part.
think we should do it. I think it'd be fun. We should do.
I'm
the
gonna
one- we
skip
should-
out on that.
We should
I
do
would
the
guys
one
go
chip.
right ahead.
I would do it.
We should do the one chip challenge and then try to talk about bass fishing.
I would do it,
we'd all be like,
I'm out.
dude.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be hilarious. We need to make a game out of this somehow.
Like,
it would be really fun.
the minute someone brings up snake and it's like fuck another chip.
Okay, so like, have you ever eaten? I've never eaten like a raw Carolina Reaper.
I haven't, and dude, that's scary. Dude.
Yeah, like I don't need to
That's-
do that.
Oh my god.
That's scary stuff.
gross,
man.
huh?
I've heard that you don't even like the knife that you cut those with. You don't prepare other food with that
Nah,
knife.
Yes.
it stays on there.
Any
don't touch
kinda-
your. Don't
I
touch
mean,
your
pretty
eyes.
much
Like,
anything hotter than a
nothing,
jalapeno,
dude,
you
like-
don't want to do that.
That
With.
shit will like burn your skin.
Like
Yeah.
you grow like habaneros and stuff like that.
The
But like I've
first
heard like
time-
even when you grow stuff close to like jalapenos
Yes.
and habaneros, like
So
it'll affect tomatoes and all that
tonight,
kind of
I
stuff.
actually pulled off the first like couple jalapenos, make some poppers tonight.
Oh my
None of the
god.
habaneros are blooming yet.
Yeah.
They
Paul
were not
just
hot
came up
at
with the
all.
best idea ever. One chip challenge at 5:55 Thursday night
Oh,
next week.
hell
Not
no.
a chance.
Oh
Yes.
my
Not a
goodness,
Yes,
dude.
let's do it.
Not a chance.
If
Oh,
you don't do this,
absolutely.
you're
Are
a
you
pussy.
bringing the toilet paper?
I
Because
will-
we're gonna need a lot.
If I will bring the
And it
chips.
had better have like
Dude,
sour
that
cream.
is
We're
rough.
skipping next
Yeah.
week. I'm
You
sorry.
have to eat if
I ain't
you
gonna
want to
be there.
fish the Thursday nighter next week. You have to eat one of the one chips and the one chip
Wait,
challenge.
we're
and
not
then
a
go
chance.
Where
I'll
do you
do
get
it-
them anymore? Like,
So-
they're not in 7-Elevens anymore.
Amazon.
Like,
Amazon.
I guess
Out.
Amazon.
What a sketchy place to get anything that could kill you.
Honestly,
It could be
Dude.
it could be Pocky, but it's like really like some
So,
fucking chip from China.
I know a few people.
COVID.
I know a few people who have eaten the hot chip that like were like, oh whatever, who like sweat from a jalapeno that ended up in patient first, and it's like, yup, you
Yeah.
didn't understand what you were getting
Dude,
into.
it's
like,
fucked up. It
like
lasts
it,
a long time.
yeah. Like I was so surprised, like because like I said, I like spicy food, but like the hottest
Did
thing
it make
I
your
had-
breathing weird?
Probably.
Yes,
It hits your
Dude,
throat.
it's like a
makes
So
your
did
breathing
you do
weird.
it too, Tom?
No.
dude, it's no
I
shit.
wouldn't do it. I'm
It's,
not-
You know what it
But you eat
reminds me of?
habaneros.
You know, like
Yeah,
like,
but like not straight. Like mixed in
you
with
know if
other
you smoke
stuff.
like a menthol cigarette and you get that cool feeling. It's the exact opposite in
Yes.
your mouth and throat.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you take
It's a
you
very good
breathe
way
in
to
and
put
out, and like it's just like it's hot. It's fucking terrible. Like,
So
I do
the
not
only-
recommend it to anybody.
You're not
only
catching
thing-
fish after that.
dude, the only thing you can do is like breathe. Is
It's
you
like
literally
hell on food.
you stand there like this and you breathe through. I did it at work. Okay, so
Yeah,
like
fuck
Still gotta be
Like,
like casted.
you stand there and you take short
You
breaths.
army guys really don't do much, do you?
Dude, so look, my pride was called into question. So naturally, it was like it was either die or be a bitch. And that's an obvious answer. So they were like, "Look, do the hot." Like they bought it for me. I was like, "All right, give me the son of a bitch."
Yeah.
So I was like, the thing of it is like a minute in, I was like, "Oh, this ain't that bad." And then
hits
like
later, dude.
3 minutes in, I was like,
Oh.
"Oh,
It's in your chest, your throat,
dude,
Like, it's fucking
this
terrible.
is fucking rough." Like it was hot, but again, I can't. I'm never going to do it again until the next chip comes out. Like I'm doing one chip challenge per year. That's it.
But I feel like the
Like, no
next
way.
chip's gonna be like next level, like
So-
fuck you up next level.
so
Like, I'd
this
be scared to
one-
do the next
Dude,
one.
they're just gonna make it worse.
So this one has the Reaper, the Scorpion, and the Viper Pepper. And the Viper Pepper.
The Viper. I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah, me neither. So the Viper Pepper is apparently supposed to give it a lot more like bite off the bat, which is the complaint of the one chip challenge, that it hits like
takes
2-3
too long.
minutes in.
Yeah.
Dude, like 3 minutes in with the one chip challenge, I was like, okay, when's it gonna stop? Like
Yeah.
when is this over? And it just wasn't.
I'm not gonna
Always
lie,
got
like I see some of those videos of those dudes like eating like habaneros and like they're covering it in
Just
like
straight.
I don't
hot. Like,
understand that, dude.
they'll take the pepper and then they'll cover it in hot sauce and like the whole aspect. Like it looks like it would be delicious,
Right.
but I know like dude,
No.
like they are hurting. Even if like there are people that are like they can handle like it better than I could, like the heat. What are they like 3 hours later? Like when they're
Sitting on the toilet
when they're
crying.
shitting and it's like
Dude.
straight lava coming out like fuck,
So
fuck
that was the one chip challenge didn't like mess me up that bad.
Have
Like,
you guys
the
ever
next day.
cried on
it
the
didn't
toilet
mess my
before?
stomach up either. Like
Like
I put a little too many hot
This is a
on the
real
sub
question.
a
You know
couple
what?
times.
Bass and Beer Radio talk is over. We're done talking about fishing at this point. Have you guys?
everybody's just like dun, 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 leaves.
Bro, we had 21 followers, and then Bubs interrupted everything, and it dropped to like 14 instantly.
Damn it, Bubs.
damn it, Jim.
Has any of you have you ever cried on the toilet?
So
I've never
Cried,
cried on
no.
the toilet, but I've wiped and been like, ooh.
I've come pretty close.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have eaten that last night. Yeah,
So
multiple.
I ate of the 911 wings from Clucksters. And I was probably like 16, 17 years old. So there's the 911 wings, and they're not as hot as the one chip challenge. But again, I was a lot younger.
But you ate several.
I ordered them, and I remember I was sitting at a table about this size, and they put them on the table across from me, and I was like, "Whoa!"
They were like this. They were like this.
Like, dude, I could like my eyes were like watering. I was like, "They're not even in front of me yet."
yes, I want that.
This is about to be horrible. So I ate. I think there's like. I don't know if there's 10 or 12. I think I ate 8 of them before like a baseball game, which I was playing in.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
I'm
yeah.
sure that
Oh
was.
my god.
I was a catcher, by the way, so squatting the whole time. Yeah,
He
good stuff.
definitely pooped himself.
Dude, I'll never forget that. I farted like 58 times that game, and the umpire was like, "Dude, are you okay?" I was like, "No, like you have no idea, dude. You have no
Yo.
clue." But yeah,
Dude, I don't know if this dog is okay right now.
He hasn't farted in a while.
so that was the first
think he just
time.
did.
That was the first time I'd ever been like, "Yeah, this
Yeah,
this
it's
is
like-
this is next level." And the next day it was rough. So what I'll tell you is like. It's for the next day effect. It's all about volume. If it requires a lot of sauce to get you there, it'll hurt. If one drop burns you up, you'll probably be fine just because
Yeah.
the volume's a little bit low.
I've noticed myself like hot stuff doesn't, dude. Like natural lights, dude.
Megan's a cocksucker. I'm telling you. Like,
Natural
damn it.
lights. The next day, I got heartburn like a motherfucker, and dude, I am shitting water, and I don't know what it is.
Oh,
I
Budweiser.
just
That's
Natural
Budweiser.
light?
yeah, like I mean, I'll drink Mick, whatever, Bush Light, natural lights, but, like
Keystones?
Keystones, but
Bush.
like, dude, natural lights. It's heartburn like a motherfucker, and I am shitting water. Like I'm throwing up out of my ass. Like
I love
like 3 or 4 times before 9 o'clock.
how.
it's
Like I
every
love
time.
natural light.
So do
man.
I, but
Like,
it's just something about natural light that just destroys me.
dude,
Like,
my first ever active duty assignment, I was at Fort Lee during COVID, so we were staying in like our rooms the whole time. I knew I had to drink. I had
What do
to
you
drink
mean?
20 natural lights a day. Like it was so bad.
Yeah, what's
But-
up, Chase?
He's eating cardboard,
Cardboard.
chewing on it.
That dog's lucky to be alive after that incident.
Dude, I'm telling you,
damn.
he took a shit the other day, and I watched a piece of rubber come out.
It was like a jig skirt.
speaking about like baseball, I just want to like confirm. Everybody had I played baseball my whole life, right?
Did you?
Whole
Okay.
life. I
What's the
played-
highest level you played at?
I played club ball. I played high school and all that stuff.
Okay, cool.
College came around. I was like, fuck college. I ain't
Right,
doing that
fishing.
shit.
I'm gonna be a
Like,
pro bass
I'm gonna be
fisher.
a fucking pipe fitter, brother. like dumbass.
Or-
Yeah, how you doing with that?
It's fucking great. Like I'm making a fuck ton of money. Like
Yeah,
it's good. But like
We'll just be broken in another 15 years.
exactly. Like, divorce, DUIs. It's the whole 46 thing. If you're not divorced, DUIs, and,
Cheers, mother-
and
dude.
something else,
Right. I
like you're
didn't
not a
even
real
do-
pipe fitter, brother.
I
But, like,
swear to you, I
right.
did not even drink beer until I got into the apprenticeship.
dude, like it changes you. Like I remember, like second
It
year,
does, straight
I
up.
was a second year apprentice. Like I'm gonna start drinking. Like I'm gonna start
Dude,
drinking during the
wait a
week.
minute.
Like I'm just gonna do it. Like it's part of
Everybody-
it's
Come
my
into
lifestyle
work.
now.
Do you
Come
follow-
into work and everybody talks about how they went home and destroyed an 18 to a 30 pack, and you're just like, I played some Call of Duty.
Yeah,
And you're just like, you know what I mean? Like,
and then like you start to realize, like, okay, I understand why these guys do this shit. Like,
Do you
Yeah, like-
do you follow Cats with Hard Hats on Instagram?
No, I don't.
Oh my god,
Oh
dude,
my
you
God.
have got to. Okay, I'm telling you. My mic died again. It's the okay. Hold back. It's called Cats with Hard Hats, and it's literally like some guy. He's like,
did you try the button?
No, I didn't. It's like the clit. I
got
can't
two
find
lights
it.
on.
It's like so basically what it is essentially like this guy that is in some like it's a blue collar union, some sort of
Yeah.
welder, plumber, HVAC, whatever, runs this page. It's basically like it sounds so gay to talk about. I'm sorry, like I sound like a fucking weenie. But anyway, he like has all these like cats with like hard hat stickers on, and he just like makes memes about blue collar shit.
That is so.
And like
funny.
every now and then he'll throw in a military one about a cat killing himself, and I'm like, yes, it's me.
That's so fucking funny.
Hopefully I don't wake up tomorrow.
That's funny as
Like
shit.
if I drink enough beers, I won't have to go to work tomorrow because I'll be dead.
Well, like,
So,
and that's how my
like-
thing with like Thursdays, dude. Like Thursdays, like, dude, tomorrow's Friday. Like, who gives a fuck? Like,
Right.
I'm drinking fucking beer. Like, I don't give a fuck. Tomorrow's Friday. All I
That
gotta
is
do is
straight
trace
up
through
how
this
it is
motherfucker.
sometimes,
Yeah.
dude.
But like the baseball thing, you were a catcher, so was I.
right.
I played club ball and all that shit.
Who'd you
like,
play for in club?
Harper Sox.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
So how old are you? Just curious.
I'm 26. Going
So
to
okay, so
27
you're a year
this
older than me. Did you guys play in the Ripken League?
So I played at Ripken a couple of times, but we did a lot. So like 15U, we did like the league, and then we did tournaments here and there. Once 16 and 17U came around, it was like complete like showcase stuff. Like,
Yeah,
it was
dude, I
just
hated that
straight-
shit.
So
Hated
did I,
it.
dude. It was rough.
Hated
Man.
it.
Like you go to like the field you were playing on a showcase, and it's like it'd be a whiteboard with like colleges over there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna strike out. Like,
Right.
like it's
Yeah,
terrible.
man.
But like, okay, catcher, right? Everybody fucking gives me shit about this, but like, I never wore a cup catching.
I didn't either.
Are you
Okay,
serious?
okay, all right.
I
So
didn't
like,
either.
what
I
I'm saying,
hated it.
the
Dude, it was
one time,
uncomfortable
dude,
as
I
shit.
swear to you,
That's dangerous.
I
was
didn't
in-
play baseball very long, but catcher was the one position where I was
Dude,
like, a
like-
cup might be a good idea for this.
if
one.
you're a good catcher,
Probably.
like you don't have to worry about it too much. But like, I wore a cup one time, and that's because I did my normal thing in high school, all through fucking Perry Hall.
Where'd you did that? Where you went?
I went to
Perry
Perry Hall, so like depending on what umpire you had, he would ask, right? So like I would hit my tongue, and like that was it. And like he knew what the fuck was up, but like it worked out every time. Diamond Nation, the umpires were like really strict,
Yeah, I
and he
remember
was
that shit.
and he was like,
New
nah.
Jersey, right? Domination, New
Yep,
Jersey.
100%.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
a
I was
good
there.
fucking showcase.
Yep,
but
yep.
he was like, no, like nah, it's not. So I'd put a couple on. 2 games,
Shake
he
your
stinks like a motherfucker.
They chased you. They chased you for a cup.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
No.
dude.
Chafe. The chafe was unreal.
Oh my
Terrible.
god!
Unreal. dude.
But the one time I wore a cup, right, in Diamond
Woo!
Nation, a foul ball off the bottom of the bat,
God,
right,
come on, Bubs, get out.
and came back.
You are gnarly.
I have to open a window.
Dude, it's fucking rough. But like, you know, the batter swung off the bottom of the bat.
Just
hit the
right
ground.
yeah, and right
Fell
up.
straight
I was
up.
wearing a cup and came up underneath, hit me in the nuts. And I was like, that was like, this is exactly why I don't wear a cup. Like
'Cause
this
it-
is
right.
something's telling me like you wore a cup this time, you got hit in the fucking nutsack. Like,
Right.
don't fucking wear a cup. Like it makes too much fucking sense,
Dude,
Like,
so like, and again, this is I straight
this
up.
went
cup
so
one
all
time.
over the place this whole time.
I don't.
You got hit in the nuts one time, and that makes you not want to wear a cup.
100%. I believe in superstition.
100%. So I don't watch baseball anymore because guys I played with at the highest level I ever played are playing Major League Baseball right now, and it's like,
There were a couple guys I played with that.
dude, I can't watch a baseball game without seeing a guy I either played with or against at a first name basis, and it's like, I'm happy for him, but it's like, dude,
Sometimes it's almost like
I'm like it's not a jealousy thing because I'm truly happy for them guys, but it's like, dude, what happened in my baseball path, career, whatever you want to call it, that
Money.
prevented me from getting right there?
You chose fishing.
money
Oh,
and
I didn't choose it. I got cut from college.
money and
I'll be the first one to tell you.
other
like-
things.
I kind of agree with Paul's comment. I've been hitting the nuts with a cup on before as well.
No, dude, Paul, like,
Dude, I don't
like,
know if it sends a shockwave through your entire sack
No,
instead
dude,
of
like
just
I got
like,
hit in the fucking sack. So like when you have a cup on and you got like the girdle, not the girdle, but like you got like the
Jockstrap.
not the jock strap, but like you know like the Under Armour fucking
Oh,
sleeve,
sliding shorts.
like yeah, sliding
Yeah.
shorts. When you squat, that cup kicks up naturally.
right.
Yes.
It
The point.
batter swung, bat ball bottom, it bounced and went underneath.
Oh, so it didn't even help you.
Complete like not
Damn.
contact. Like it was like it was the worst pain I've ever been in
Nixon,
my life.
Nixon.
Like it was the worst fucking pain. Like and like it wasn't like I'm breaking my ankle. I've done other kind of shit like that, but like it just lingered, dude. Like it was like all in my
wanna throw
stomach.
up.
It was fucking terrible.
I'll never forget. We were getting ready for a tournament one time, and I had a coach throwing BP, and he always hung his head out of the L screen, and I
Take
tagged
out rocked.
I tagged one up the middle, and it broke his fucking jaw. Dude,
Yep.
he was like out before he hit the ground, and like his
Yep.
jaw was like, he looked like a zombie from The Walking Dead. Like he was like, "Ah, I can't move my face. I'm like, yeah, your jaw's broken. Holy shit.
That is
Like-
fucked up, dude.
Fucking-
God damn it.
Speaking of people, like, we're gonna go talk to fishing again, but like one guy that like I respect the shit out of him. He's my age and like still not out of AAA. Troy Stokes out of Coward Hall.
Bro. Yeah, played
That-
against him.
Very,
Played against him.
Very fucking good. Very good, but like he just can't
White Sox,
get
right?
out of-
White Sox organization?
He's been with like the Brewers, the Pirates.
Yeah, I remember the
And I think
Brewers,
he's
yep.
with the White Sox now, but
Yep.
like he just can't seem to get out of that.
Dude,
fucking
so-
AAA
Where you
shit,
headed,
like-
Joe?
So so for you guys that are not baseball people, and again, I am, but I hate it now for.
This is
'cause I
Bass and
probably just
baseball
did it too
radio.
much.
Bass and
Baseballs,
baseball.
yes.
So like, minor league baseball is purgatory because
is,
for a
100%.
number of reasons. It's cutthroat as shit.
Yeah.
Like the guys that you play with in
You don't
A,
make any
double A,
money.
and triple, you don't make any money. The guys that you play with in A, double A, and triple A, not that I've been there because I have not, to be completely clear, want you to fail. They want you to strike out and boot and make an error at third base and whatever so they can get their shot. It's cutthroat as shit. Like pitchers, these guys that are pitchers will literally work through a season or two past the point they should have got Tommy John because they just want to make it. And they're never going to make it because their elbow is literally fried.
Yep.
Like minor league baseball, dude, like people don't realize how cutthroat it is. Because I know a lot of guys that have been there
So,
and it's
like,
it's
when
not fun.
When I played for Harvard Sox, I don't know if you might not have played with him, but there's this guy, Kyle Gruskoff. He was on the team with Harvard Sox to me. His dad ended up playing with the Red Sox. He pitched like 2 games.
Right.
That's it. Like nothing crazy, but like it's an accomplishment.
Right. He made the
like-
base, dude. He
and
was
like
there.
hearing like his story behind it all, like just like going through like the trials and tribulations of like AAA,
Right.
you know, double A, single A. He's like, it's just totally different. And also, you got to think about this too. Like, I'm talking to him as well. Like, going from like club ball to college to that, it's completely
yeah.
different. Like, the mindset's different. The way the balls, like the way baseball's played, is totally different. Like, baseball's already strategic to begin with, anyway. There's
Right.
so many things going on at once, but like,
Like I said, I played for a
big.
year in college and you know it.
where'd you end up playing?
VMI. So
VMI.
for a
That's
year, I played for the fall. For a number of reasons, I ended up getting cut the day before our spring trip to Wilmington, North Carolina. So that was a fun one.
That pissed me off.
Yeah, that was a fucking like that was the day I became an adult. Right there, I swear to God, because it was like, okay, fantasy's over. Like now this dream of playing college
Real
baseball
life stuff.
and making major leagues is gone in a pot of smoke. Now what am I gonna do?
Right.
Like now I have to figure out like how to be successful in the military.
Yeah.
Like, okay, commit. Like game over. But anyway, you're absolutely right. Like I remember, dude, the baseball team in college would like build your schedule. You would be out of class every day at 10 just so you could go straight to the weight room and then straight to the field.
Yep.
And you were at the field at 6 until like 6 p.m. every day.
Yep.
It was a 40-hour week just playing baseball,
Yep.
not including school, not including all these other things that you had to do. You know, so it was a whole thing. But like, dude, like I said, I mean, I can't watch a Major League Baseball game without seeing a guy that I either played against or played with at some level. I mean,
There's
I
a lot
remember
of
going
guys.
out to
Well,
play.
Skylar played like who do you play for?
He
Like,
played for Towson.
But he played for Towson, but he played for like Maryland Orioles back in the day. And
He
all that
did.
shit.
He played. We and him played club ball together for years,
Like
man.
him and Nick Maggio were on that team. and
Yeah,
all that
Putty
stuff.
Hill.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
and Skylar played together on Putty Hill's college team. We played against guys like Delp. Did you play
Nick
with him?
Delp.
You play with him?
I never played with him, but I played against him
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
We played against him.
Nick Delp was a good ball player too.
A good friend of mine in high school, a guy that he usually batted 3 or 4. Me and him switched off and batting 3 or 4. Spencer Horowitz, he got called up for the Blue Jays. Played with him. We played 4 years of varsity ball in high school together.
Yeah.
He ended up going to Radford, and God bless him, he worked his ass off. He deserves it. Lamont Wade for the Giants. Late night Lamont.
Yeah. He's local too, isn't he?
Dude, I took his spot. He graduated as a senior. I started in center field the year after
now
he
he's
was a
making
freshman.
fucking millions.
Right. His brother Jamal was 2 years ahead of me. He's a really good ball player too. A really good dude. He's one of those guys that's kind of been buried in purgatory.
My biggest thing,
know.
like, when I graduated high school, I was into cars and shit like that, and I was like,
Well, that's where you went down the wrong.
I want money. Like,
That's
Yeah,
where
right.
yeah, like I want money. Like I want to do shit to my vehicles or whatever. Like I wanted money.
And then it
and,
just
like,
went right out the window.
and it was like, all right, I'm not
You
going.
had that Volkswagen you had all lowered.
I had a couple of them. I had
Was
like
a couple
3
of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
So you're an import guy.
that happened. Yeah, I do love German vehicles. Like cars. Like I think that they are made very nice.
Like the Porsche Tiger one.
Like all the Porsches, anything like German is.
That was a German World War II
yeah.
tank. Jack.
Anything German is usually pretty fucking good. But like,
Right?
like once that shit happened, like I was kind of like, I needed money to do shit that I wanted to do, so I was just like, well, I'm not
Well,
going to college.
I guess I gotta be a pipe
I was
fitter.
supposed to play, like, I had a starting position at fucking CCB's in Catonsville. Like, I didn't go to college. I didn't have the grades and all that shit. And I was going to go play there. And, like, the first, dude, like, I signed up, and the first day I woke up and I was like, no. like, I just didn't fucking go. Like, I just didn't go. And then, like, I did scaffolding for a little while, and then I got in the local. And, like, this is where I'm at right now. You know.
So let's
Talk about
switch it
start
up.
somewhere.
Let's switch it up a little bit. We're
Talk
pipe
about
fitters. We're
fishing.
in local 486.
Yeah, man.
It's good.
Very fucking good.
It's good.
It's very good.
Financially, beneficially, it's good.
Hopefully, I'll retire at 55 and get the fuck out of here. We'll see.
Is that what your plan is?
Well,
I think it's going to take, in my opinion, I mean, because we're
You
making the
have
same
to
money,
have a
we're making the
house.
same rate. You need to have a partner and a house in a way that
not
can-
necessarily that. You
know what
almost
I
have to
mean?
have your house paid off and like your decision made where you're going to be at, because if you don't hit like the number 99 with your age and credits, your medical is really high.
Right.
Every month. So
Yeah.
let's say you you do the math or whatever. So like let's say you retire at 60 and you have 40 credits. You do the math. Your medical is the cheapest or whatever. Like, that's just how a medical plan works. But either way, right now, dude, I'm just fucking grinding. Like I'm making a
Right.
shit ton of money. Like I don't give a fuck. Like
the
I'm just
work.
I'm gonna work as much as I can. Like whenever the opportunity comes, I'm gonna work as much as I can.
We're at the age there where we can do that backbreaking work though.
100%.
And what our
You can do
what our
it your whole
union
life
does,
is you drinking it.
what our union does, okay, and
Very true.
straight
And I'm
up,
already starting.
what our union does is backbreaking work. Unfortunately, we see a lot of guys that are up in older age and they have
Yeah.
a lot of back issues and
Right.
hip issues and stuff like that. But
Is it worth it?
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It
worth?
is.
Is it so? No, I'm not going to talk about any numbers or anything like that online. But is it worth what we're making a year and beneficially to?
One,
If you don't take care of yourself, be crippled by the time you're in your
if you
in your
look
60s.
if you look at like the money that we do make, yes,
right,
like full package we make like $100 an hour.
full package, yeah.
So like, if you look at it in total, yes, but like I don't want to be that guy. I shouldn't even say this on fucking
it doesn't
live
matter,
right now,
dude. It doesn't even
because
matter.
the
but,
union
like,
the union's like with binoculars in the background.
but
But, like,
everything that we get through the union is displayed on the internet for anybody to go look up that information.
it is.
It's all public information.
Anybody can go look up the public information
It
on
is.
how much money we make an hour in the
The
union.
big thing is too is like you can make a lot of money outside. You know.
You talk about like side
Oh,
work.
that's what you're gonna. Yeah.
You can make a lot of money outside. I
Yeah.
think my fucking mic's fucked up.
See, that's the problem. Is like with my line of work is like I don't make money outside because nobody needs somebody to kill mass amounts of people on the outside.
Okay. But see, the difference is. But here's the thing.
You know
you
what I
can do
mean?
fucking
I
missionary.
know.
You can do some crazy work outside.
Right. I mean, I could go to Ukraine and probably be a mercenary. I'm probably not
Some
even that good
contractor
of one.
type stuff or something. you
Right.
know?
Well, a lot of guys will do that, but you know, me personally, like honestly, I'm a logistician, so it's like I could go to like
But
government, but
There's-
outside of
dude,
that,
there's
it's
so
like-
many people, Tony. There's so many people. I'm not saying you, but there's so many people. Is he just chewing on the cord again?
Yeah, a little bit.
There's so many people that make excuses for themselves.
Don't
I
you?
have this job. This is my profession. I can't go learn anything else. That's bullshit.
Well, like the big thing is too, like, you know, one thing I realized, like, especially in this trade, you've been around them, like the local, like our local, me and Chad's local,
Fucking breed them.
like you do, like you breed some fucking sharp motherfuckers, like you breed some good fucking smart guys that are worth a fuck, but there are C players and there are B players.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Right.
Like
That's
they-
anything.
up,
You,
dude.
you need those people in society for society. Like if you had all A players,
It's
like
the
society
stru-
just
it-
like wouldn't. It wouldn't.
Right.
It is
Everyone
the
would be
structure of
smart.
society.
It doesn't
there's
work.
no winners without losers.
But like the big thing is like you got to figure
If
out.
you ain't first, you're
And
last.
like
too.
I'm slowly figuring out what separates you from B players and C players. It's a combination of a couple things, but like to be where you want to be at in anything, and like what you do, what he does. Like, you got to be at the best. You got to figure out what you can do that other people can't. You know. And the way the local works is like you have a bunch of fucking cokeheads.
That's how you get through the work day.
And that's the thing about the local too is like you have a bunch of guys that do coke for a living, and they're fucking good at what they do.
Dude, I was talking
it's
to-
kind of like
I was talking to a soldier, a
Look,
friend of
there's
mine.
one of them right there.
Dude, that's what I'm
Does
trying
that
to
guy?
say.
Does that guy work with you?
look at Carl.
That's what I'm trying
Is
to
he-
say right now.
dude.
There's a straight up difference between, there is a difference between your construction and your service in the local. Big difference.
I was talking to a soldier the other day, a good friend of mine, and we were out having a couple beers. I called him up like 5 hours later, and he's like out of breath. I'm like, "Hey, you good?" He's like, "No, I just went on a run." I'm like, "We were just at the bar." He's like, "Yeah, I kept it short. I only did like 3 miles." I'm like, "Dude, you're gonna die." He's like, "Yeah, hopefully." I'm like, what? I'm like, holy crap.
Anytime the guy that
What
commented,
the hell, dude?
Kyle Elrod, anytime me and him get together
Where's
on the
devil
first
puppy at?
Tuesday every month
right here.
for union meetings, we're fucking drinking.
Right.
We're having a good fucking time.
I did union work for a long time. I worked with Local 19 out of Baltimore for like the stagehand guys that set up the concerts and all that shit.
Was that union?
Yes,
No shit.
and we got paid pretty good, but it was like, dude, like I love it. I haven't done any work this year because my schedule sucks, and like honestly, it's like every Saturday I'm pretty much fishing a tournament, so it's like no, I'm not gonna stay up till 4 a.m. working at the R. Kelly concert. Like I gotta get up at 5. I'm not gonna
fucking
work
pisses
till
on
4.
people, too.
Right. I'm not gonna get up at 4 when I have to be leaving the house at 3 to go fish. So it's just but like we got paid a lot of money, but people like bitched about shit. Like people were like, "Oh, dude, we're not getting paid enough." Like dude, you lived on the street and you're getting paid $40 an hour to roll up extension cords. Like what the hell? You know what I mean? So like there was a lot
Simple
of that.
stuff.
Yeah, it was just like, dude, we would get paid like $30 an hour to show up at the Pier 6 Pavilion and put freaking amplifiers in road cases and push them into a truck. Like, you didn't sweat all night. And people were crying about it. I'm like, what are you crying about? Like, this is the easiest job in the world.
There
And people,
will
they
always-
want hazard pay, and they want, it's hot out, so I want heat pay. Heat pay doesn't
pay.
exist.
What is
right.
that?
That's what I said. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
I had to drive this week and the air conditioner was not working properly in my work truck.
Hard that was.
I had to drive to Stafford, Virginia too. It's like
The one thing too, like you will always meet people that will find something to complain about.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
and like I've come to realize,
Pops.
like I just tune them out.
No. Where did you even get this from?
a bag of lollipops?
Homeboy's got a bag of taffy and lollipops, and I swear to you, I don't even own this material.
They come out of your bag?
Wait a minute, did that come out of the
Dude.
bag?
Yes.
Taylor, dude, I'm
Dude,
telling you, always hiding the candy
I
from
swear
me,
to you, bro, I'm
Taylor's
telling
hiding
you.
in a lunchbox.
Dude, this dog just opened up the zipper on your lunchbox
Nah,
and
dude,
took that out,
there's
bro.
no way.
Dude, he's like a
Yes, he
raccoon.
did.
I'm telling you.
That
I'm
side
telling you,
pocket's
bro,
open.
like,
Hold on, I'm
look,
looking
the
at the
side
picture.
pocket's wide open
It's
right
open.
now.
He's like a freaking raccoon.
Look at this shit.
He's the crackhead right there.
The side pocket on this thing is wide open.
God damn, that is so fucking funny.
The dog just went in
It's like
here
Houdini.
Paul's got it made though.
and
Paul,
pulled a
doesn't Paul work from
freaking
home
bag
for
of
like
candy
3
out
out
of
of 4
Nick's
days.
Here, I'm just
What
gonna
else
say that
just came out of it?
here. I don't know. Vape juice. The goods.
Dude, I refuse to work from home. That's one thing I just will not do.
I wouldn't get anything done.
Yeah, me neither.
I
would-
My
I would
weight
look at
room's
my
at
boat
home,
sitting
my
in the
guitars
driveway.
are at home, my boat's
like-
at home, my
Yeah.
beer's at home. That's the big one.
My dad does like mechanical engineering or whatever. Pretty much the same thing I do, but just like quotations, the smart guy stuff, whatever. They fuck shit up all the time. But like he works from home now and he's like 53, 54 and like he's to the point now where he's like I fucking love it. Like he's like I drink beer
I mean,
during
it
the
makes
day.
sense
Like
now.
he is all about like during lunchtime he's gonna clean the pool. He's gonna drink beer
Relax a
and
little
go
bit.
back to work. Like I could see like if you're old and it, like I can see when you're older, it
Right.
it could be kind of cool. Like
I
you're
can
at that
see
point
the-
where like you stop giving a fuck kind of deal, you know?
I can see the benefits of it when you're younger and you're like a new homeowner. And
I would be
Yeah,
getting.
yeah, like a
walk
new
your
homeowner.
dog,
Bang
and
your
do
girl, like all
whatever.
those things, right?
You know, like
I'd be
Taylor-
getting a hot
okay,
spot
so,
on
like-
my
so, like-
boat.
you know how many people I know that work from home, but they sign into their job while
Yeah,
they're still
no
laying
touch.
in bed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A lot
Like,
of them.
I sent Taylor the picture of that bag that she's probably hiding from me because she's not gonna eat it. I said, "Is this yours?" She said, "Yes, no touch."
Hey,
I was sending a picture of like,
What are you
"He
doing?"
touched."
I feel like the freaking dog almost ate all of it.
Is that some extracurricular candies
Dude.
in there or something?
Dude, that dog,
No, it's not.
dude, that dog opened the zipper pouch on that thing and took that out.
He's fucking smart, dude.
He's really smart. He's just a bastard,
he's on
bro.
it.
Send him to college, dude. Hey, fuckhead.
Look, he's doing it right now.
I gotta buy Taylor a new lunchbox now.
Well, I gotta buy
Get your
Taylor.
nose out of there.
I gotta buy Taylor. a
No,
new
you don't have to
lunchbox,
worry about
man.
it.
Hey, get away from there. Where's your bone? Your bone's right there on the pillow. It's on the pillow.
The bone don't taste good.
It's one of those.
The bone
it's one
doesn't
of
taste
those
good.
knife
It's the
bones.
zipper that tastes the best.
I swear to you, everybody will leave. He'll go lay out on the couch and chew on that bone.
Right.
Because everybody's here, he's just like too retarded to freaking. He's too ADHD to focus on one thing right now. He can't just chew on that one bone. I don't know why, but he's definitely into Nick's lunchbox.
It probably kind of smells like
Smells
my dog.
Put some hot sauce on it. I'm telling you, it'll be over real quick.
Smell like fish and sandwiches and
Yeah.
beers and.
All the leftovers.
Smells like dirty snakehead
You know,
all over it.
I couldn't tell you the last time that I have washed my work lunchbox.
My work
it's
lunchbox.
been a
I haven't
while.
cleaned. There's like particles that I don't know what came from, like in the bottom of it. It's disgusting.
Dude, my work, my headgear is like disgusting. Like it,
Oh,
oh yeah, it's rough. It's been through a lot. It's been through multiple different.
dude, back
like-
in the motocross days, I totally understand. Put that helmet on from last
Oh, it just
weekend
smells
that you
like ass.
that you put on. Yeah, you're riding a dirt bike. You put a helmet on that you wore from last weekend that was obliterated with
Oh,
sweat, and you just left it in the back of the truck. You know what I mean? Like,
And that's musty.
See, like I never rode motocross like that. Like I got into it a little bit later with Nick or whatever. I could ride trails, okay, but like not the track. I remember back in the dude. This was probably it was me,
Hey,
Kevin Gimbel.
get out of there.
You know Kevin Gimbel.
Gimbal.
You know
Kevin's
Gimbal.
slow as fuck.
how's dude? I would love
Look,
to-
man. I'm not gonna say it on live, but that's what Nick said. I didn't know any better.
Oh yeah.
And I think Dale
Nick Zaremba.
Danger Dale.
was there.
Dale
And
Kefauver.
Nick
Nick-
Zaremba, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
I remember like hitting this like double, not hard.
Don't follow behind
like
Dale.
like not hard because like I'm not that good.
There
Like,
was
I'm
a
not that
sketch ball and everything. Dude.
good. But like I think we were.
Dale broke his leg at Tomahawk.
I think it was Tomahawk is where we were at. It wasn't
Dale
the same.
with the tomahawk
Yes.
It wasn't the same day, but
Like once it broke his
we
leg.
were at Tomahawk,
on a 4-wheeler.
and there was a double, and like I hit it like and like just a little bit of air just to make it. And dude, I remember Zaremba. I just see him like over top, me.
Gassed it.
And I'm just like, this motherfucker's gonna kill me. Like he's literally over top me with a fucking dirt bike. Like, he's gonna
Tomahawk was a
land
wild
on me.
place.
Tomahawk was cool. It was
Tomahawk
like it was
is-
my like only
It's a pretty
chance to
gnarly
go
track.
out there. Like it was my only
Dude,
chance to be on a
I
track.
remember going there one time, and they did it in classes.
You rode dirt bikes?
Yeah,
He
I
rode-
came over a couple times. We
He-
rode at the old the
He
105
rode with Kevin
compound.
and Dale and all that.
I was fashioning all that. First of all,
Dude, I don't know, man. It must have been
Dude.
like when I.
the one time I remember specifically, the one time we went to Tomahawk, we're sitting there, they had different classes riding, you know, your good guys, younger guys, whatever. They let the kids go out on the track. The ruts were
Tom
so
kicked
bad.
all their asses.
True. But the ruts were so bad, I watched a kid come into a turn, never saw him come out. He laid the bike over in a rut and he was just gone.
God damn.
That's just the best, though.
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
all at some point all of us rode dirt bikes, right? Are y'all two-stroke
To an
guys
extent.
or four-stroke guys? I'm a two-stroke guy, 100%.
Oh, dude.
So
I
the
rode
first-
It's
until
not
I bought
even
a house
close.
and then I
Motocross.
realized I can't die.
Or
I
afford to
have
get
payments.
hurt or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
the first dirt bike that I ever bought, I had a dirt bike as a kid. Like my parents bought me or whatever.
I've had a dirt bike since I was like
5 years old.
The first dirt bike I bought myself was a brand new 2016, like 150R, like small for the trails, because like that's what me and
Those are fun little
Zerbo.
bikes.
It's fun. Like it's
I was
what
gonna
we-
buy that bitch.
my bike.
Remember, I was
I do
I
remember
inquired
that. I did-
about it.
Well, Brittany ended up buying it. She still has it, but like I bought that bike because like that's what we were doing. We were riding trails through like Gunpowder, Jerusalem,
Right.
like Kingsville area and all that shit. And like that was the first bike I bought. But like the one thing that I didn't like about it is that it always had problems like starting.
Yeah.
Like
Was
like,
that-
like from I think I bought it like it might have been like from the Pep Boys in Bel Air. Like
Yeah.
I went
Right,
there,
right,
I bought
dude.
it, and like every time it's like, all right, get the fucking like brake fluid or starter fluid, like all right, like spray the filter, like let's get it started, because like it would never fucking start.
Was it electric start? Was it Kickstarter?
It was
Your
Kickstarter.
valve- Your valves were probably fucked. That's probably why.
I don't know what it was, but like the jets were clean, like everything was clean
Yeah,
on that
valves.
motor, but
It's
like
probably your
it
valves.
just never fucking wanted to run. Like, and I eventually like I think I had it for like 2 years and never rode it after like that, and I was like, you know what, like, fuck it, like I'm
I
gonna
had
sell-
a
I'm gonna sell it, and like Brittany ended up fucking.
yeah, I
buying it.
had a 450 that was like that too. Like once it was started, it was fine, but starting it when it was hot, when the valves were stretched out,
Yeah.
no, it was like
You
Yeah.
didn't have a hot start lever on it?
it might have. It was like a 2006, 2008, something like that.
Is it my KX?
Yeah, it should have had
has
the
a
hot.
start
It should have had the
lever.
hot
Yeah.
start on it at that point.
But they were
There's water on the
stretched,
floor. He spilled it.
bro.
Dude, I'm telling
He's eating all the ice
He
and
does
shit.
not.
He doesn't stop.
He does not stop.
It's incredible.
Bubs.
Need to make a documentary about this fucking dog.
Dude, so like me
Dude.
personally, like
What are you
I'm
doing?
for me, like if
here.
this today's day and age, like I still got my 83 YZ and I got an 05
You
250F
can still rip
Cali.
the old one.
Why is these ways go?
Dude, it's yellow. You know how old that thing is?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
freaking yellow. It's a 6-speed. Like and
Yeah.
the brakes don't work on it at all. It's
You don't
great.
need
Yeah.
brakes. Brakes
Nah.
are for losers.
That's what Ronnie Mac says. I just downshift. I don't need
I think
brakes.
the like I don't know too much about riding like that much, because like I never really got into it. But like the best bike that I ever rode, correct me if I'm wrong, like when it comes to like numbers and sizing, this kid Sam Azadra that me and Nick knew had a KTM. I think it was like a 250,
KTM 's really
250 size.
Those are
I'm
nice,
using
yeah.
that number. I don't know if it's the right term.
the SX probably. Yeah.
Like electric start. That bike was
EXC.
so fucking.
I like
nice.
GNCC,
They ride.
Greg.
That
bike
GNCC
was
is not
awesome.
fun.
What is it?
GNCC.
I don't know if that's what it was or not.
Well, GNCC is just like off-road, like trail riding,
Trail
like
riding.
racing. Yeah.
Was it like a different style of bike or something? Or
Well, the bikes in the GNCC are definitely, they're not motocross bikes. You know, motocross bikes are just kind of just all
All
top end.
gas, no
These are
brakes.
kind of, they have longer gears in them.
Okay,
The suspension's
gotcha.
a little
Yeah,
bit softer
gotcha.
to handle.
well, you know Justin Fisher, right?
Yeah, no, Justin.
Yeah. So Justin used to do like, is that the same
G-
thing as like
yeah,
the hill
GN
climbing and
GNCC
stuff?
and
Okay,
Enduro.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh,
gotcha,
dude,
yeah.
hill
He
climbing.
used to do like hill climb stuff.
Them
Dude.
guys
That's
are-
my shit.
Apparently he was the real deal. Like
Justin Fisher was fast as
Yeah,
shit.
You ever been
he
up
was
to the
good.
White
So
Rose?
Justin, he
So,
didn't do,
I
he didn't
never
do
went
hill climbs,
anywhere.
He did enduros.
Enduros, that's what it was.
Dude,
Not
I can't
like
remember what it
personally
was.
riding, but like
Yeah.
watching people.
No, so like I grew up when I was riding dirt bikes all the time. Like my neighbors, they all built trails in the woods and shit, and they had like vertical hill climbs that like if you didn't hit it right at the base, you were going like that bike was coming
Yeah.
back over top of you type of shit.
Well, dude, there's a
We used to
time you
run
gotta
that all
tap
the
that
time.
brake so that you can make that freaking edge too,
Yeah,
though.
dude.
Right.
Like the most riding I ever did was like, it was probably 6 or 7 years ago, but like we would just like ride the trails that are known around Kingsville and like
Right.
off of 40, like
Right.
near Days Cove and all
Those
that.
are
shit,
sweet trails.
Like that's what we would do. That's what it was fun. Like I remember I wasn't that good at riding. I was okay. I would still bust my fucking ass all the time. But dude, like we would like ride on the train tracks, like Jones Road, all the way
Right.
like and that number 2 stone, dude.
Oh,
Dude, I want to.
It's like this
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole fucking time. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking die.
Dude, I want to
You're better off-
eight.
You're almost better off riding on the tracks itself.
for sure, for sure.
Dude, I want an 85 big wheel in the worst way.
Yeah.
Just to like ride wheelies all over
Yeah.
the yard and shit. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Cop chases are fun on dirt bikes, Greg. I had a lot of fun running from police on dirt bikes back in the day.
Craig must have had a dirt bike back when he was a kid too.
The one time
We've gotten into that a number of times on this show. Greg and Chad are going to race one day, and we don't know when that's going to be.
Buy some bikes. Buy some old clapped out things.
Chased him 35 years ago with a helicopter. And you definitely, it's hard to get away from the bird. It's
Chad,
hard
is
to get
that
away from
is
the bird.
the track still at your parents' place?
It exists.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
overgrown.
It's all
There's some
completely
trees
overgrown.
in it.
It's all completely overgrown.
That's the best time to
That
ride.
track, dude. That track was pretty sick. That
It
track
was
was a
pretty
lot
good
of
there for
fun.
a little
It
while.
wasn't. It wasn't big. It wasn't enough to freaking.
it's
make
enough
you-
to have fun though.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
to make you pucker. Actually, there was one jump that made me pucker a little bit, but it had nothing to do with how like big it was. It
What,
was just
uh,
like it was like 35 or 40 feet, and it just like you were. The jump just you had to be like third gear tapped on everything just to make.
We
it.
used to ride the golf course right there off fucking Bradshaw or Raphael, whatever it is.
Right, yeah.
Like it hit all those fucking humps and shit like that. Well, whose place was it? Like I can't remember. Like I remember riding there with fucking Kevin, Dale,
Like
Nick.
a track or something.
It wasn't a track. It was somebody's house. And I feel
Was
like
it
we
a
talked
trail?
about this before.
Greg, I feel like that's
It wasn't
my
a
same
track, but it was
story.
somebody's house. Like he had a barn, like down the hill, and like there was like a small double that like went over top the creek.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I feel like we talked about this before, and I can't remember whose place it
I'm not
was.
sure.
It was cool. I fucking wrecked right at the creek. Like first fucking one, I just fucking wrecked. I used to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I used to get that 125 and some nasty shit. Like, dude, there was some shit in that 125 where it was like, if you didn't know about it coming up on it, you were done. Like, it was
Yeah.
just done. Like,
I wrecked right down the street, like fucking right there on Jerusalem, the power lines.
Yep.
Right there. Like I was with Nick, and like I was fucking in the 150 full fucking flash.
That's 150.
That's
R's
where
are
you mess
fast,
up. You
dude.
can't follow
It's a
behind.
fast
They're
bike.
They're quick, and they're like
It's a fast bike.
it like where they had the pallets at for the trucks and all that stuff. It went
Yeah.
from pallets to gravel, and it just rained enough to where like as soon as it transitioned, like the tail kicked out. I'm like, all right, it's happening. Like
Here we
like,
go.
Here we go. So like at the same time, I try to kick out from underneath me, but like the bike falls on my foot, breaks. Like my foot's like this, bike falls on that, it breaks like the bone to my pinky toe, and I slid for like 30 feet. I had like road rash for like
Yeah.
fucking 3 weeks. It was terrible.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
dude, the throttle on my 125 will stick, but only intermittently.
Yeah. yeah.
So it's like I'll be trying to
never
like,
know
That
what's
is
gonna
so
happen. When are we gonna
dangerous,
die?
dude. Like,
I'll be like trying to ride a wheelie in third gear up the road or whatever, and it's like, "Nyeh, oh god, it's sticking. Wow. Oh shit.
Looking at the sky.
Right. Just absolutely like shitting yourself for no reason. And then it'll just stop sticking for no
Yeah.
reason. And it starts again. It's like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know.
Greg, could you imagine being able to ride on the proving grounds like 30 years ago? I mean, when you wouldn't get blown up by live mortars laying on the ground or something like that.
Dude, it's chemical agents out
Dude,
there.
Have you ever
But,
actually looked at the map for
they
down
were
there?
blowing shit up for a while. Like there was always shit in the ground there.
So
You know
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
a lot of the reason why you can't go up, it's not because it's like this is okay. This one, if that's an old,
Let's remember the full one.
it's called a UXO, unexploded ordnance. It's not the fact that I like kick it and it's gonna blow up. It's that I kick it and it's gonna leak mustard gas
Probably.
or nerve gas or chlorine gas. Like that's what I've been told is most of the shit that's out there. So that's why it's like, you know, and a lot of that shit's odorless. It's like you won't figure out that you're screwed until a month later when it's like you have a
you're dying.
stroke when you're 30.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, like
It's
a lot of the stuff that like is in like the creek
It's so
in
gnarly to
theory
even
or
think
like
about.
in the ground, like they're duds to begin with. Anyway. Like haven't they
But there's
determined
still
that?
stuff in it.
But like haven't they determined like that they're not explosive?
They
a
don't-
lot of those
They
things.
don't know.
They don't know. Yeah, that's exactly right. They truly do not know where a lot of that shit is because so APG was actually like formed for World War One to
Right.
develop and test like artillery, chemical weapons, and like World War One, World War Two era shit. So back in those days,
BPG.
so like back in those days, there was no quality control. It was like, hey, you know, we got this thing. It's like napalm. We're gonna call it, and we're just gonna like launch it.
But like napalm's like just like styrofoam on fire.
So that's the redneck version
It
of
like
it.
sticks to your fucking skin and shit.
Correct.
Like that.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
essentially it's a slow burning gel, and the modern day is called white phosphorus because phosphorus burns super hot, and it burns so hot that it's white.
Right.
Which, fun fact, you can't use on soft targets. So what happens is, hey, there's a tank here, a tank that
Quotations.
yes, and they drop, and then they drop white phosphorus on it. Hey, was there people there? I don't know, but there was definitely a tank at
Right.
some point last week. I think I don't know, but so yeah, so that kind of happened. But so that's kind of like the deal. So back in those days, there was no testing. It was like shoot that way. There's nobody out there. Like some poor bastard probably got blown out of the Bush River one day. Is still missing
Out
to
there
this
rock
day.
fishing.
Right.
Yeah, right. So guy's probably crabbing, woven fucking crab baskets, and it's just like his remains are scattered over Harford County. He got
Yeah.
hit with a fucking
Yeah.
155 or whatever. the hell it
Like
was.
speaking of napalm and shit like that, like you're a military guy, but
Right.
I almost find it like crazy. Like you see all these Vietnam videos and all that shit. Like they were mowing down, like like it's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but like.
Well,
it is funny, but
Makes
like,
me, like,
dude, like they
laugh,
were
like-
like you see these videos, like dude, like they were in helicopters and just like mowing down innocent farmers.
So
like
the
you see
worst.
these videos, it's like holy fucking shit.
So the thing about that is like all like the napalm, all that shit that was state of the art, Rolling Thunder back in that day was borderline irrelevant because of you ever heard of
well, it was nuclear, right?
well no
Like,
you ever heard of tunnel rats?
no.
Okay, this will blow your mind. If you're still with us, one, you're a trooper and you deserve to drink a beer. Two, I remember sitting at a truck stop one night when I was in college, military college, so we had to wear uniforms everywhere. And we're sitting at a bar, trucker bar, and this guy, this older guy, he's probably in his 70s. We're sitting there shooting the shit, drinking beer. This guy was special forces in Vietnam. So back in those days, because the casualties were so high in Vietnam, if you wanted to be special forces, they would just send you and your unit would train you while you were there. These days, it's like hell to get there. Like it's
Right.
years and years worth of like this excruciatingly painful training process, which very few will ever achieve. Not me. Just so we're fucking clear, I'm not that fucking guy, and I'll be the first one to tell you.
You're not David Goggins.
Correct. That is correct. I can run, but not that fast.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Motherfucker.
they used to have these things called tunnel rats. And what the Viet Cong would do is they would dig these elaborate tunnels. Like you seen that scene in Shawshank Redemption where that's like the tunnels in Vietnam. These guys would crawl through this shit, and they would have like kitchens and infirmaries and sleeping quarters, and they would dig out dirt rooms the size of this room 30 feet underground. And at that level, because of numerous
I
things,
can't imagine the work it took to actually do that.
right?
Yeah.
So and for numerous reasons, like gases and explosives and this, that, and the other, wouldn't get rid of these tunnels. So what these infantry and special forces and ranger regiment and all these platoons would do is they're called tunnel rats, and these guys were like, no offense to Tom, but they were like guys like Tom, smaller guys
fit
that
in
could
there.
get through this shit.
Right.
And you would go down there with a fucking with a fucking flashlight and your 45 because your rifle wouldn't fucking fit. And these guys would crawl through these booby trap laden tunnels and clear them out.
That's fucking
With a
crazy
pistol.
shit.
Insane.
Yeah, it's fucking
Dude,
crazy.
3% survival. 3, not 30, 3. Like that, like that's like it blows your mind when you think about it. And like, you can go on YouTube and watch these guys that were tunnel rats and they'll talk about it, but it's like long story short, it's the guy that I was sitting there drinking a beer with was this tunnel rat in the special forces, and he was like, dude, this shit was fucking insane. It was like insane. Like the shit that they would have fishing line across the tunnel and you couldn't see it because you're in a flashlight, and you would fucking crawl into it and coral snakes fall out of the roof because they booby trapped it. Or you'd be crawling and, oh look, there's some leaves there. Oh, it's not leaves, it's a ditch with punji sticks covered in shit. So that
Right.
you get infected.
Infection.
That way, if you're able to get out, you die a week later from infection. Like it's just
Fucking
it's
mind-blowing.
mind blowing. So, but anyway, that's the tangent of why chemical weapons and all this other crap, white phosphorus, napalm, didn't really work that well in Vietnam because these cocksuckers were under the ground during the day.
Right.
Like they'd be under the ground, dude. No, for real. Like they'd be underground all day, and they'd come out at night and
We will
they'd
be
shoot.
banned for
Well,
the next
right.
month.
And like that's the theory, like that's why they called them bugmen. and
Right.
shit like
They
that,
would
yeah.
literally. That's why, like, those crazy sons of bitches would be like, they would appear and disappear.
America.
And it's true. They would come out at dusk, shoot a bunch of Americans, and make a bunch of noise and raise hell, and then go back underground until the next day at dusk. Like, it was horrible. Could you imagine, like, you're out there walking around, and you're right. Like, that's why they mowed down villages, because that's where the entrances to the tunnels were. It wasn't like just some random hole in the ground in the woods. It was at the town square in Viet Congabad.
I want to know where
Right?
Nick and Tom stand on the murder in Viet Cong.
On the murder in Viet Cong.
This show has taken a
I don't know.
severe
Nothing.
deep dive. Like,
I think there's a lot of shit that goes on. That
Dude.
I think me and Rob stuck better to the topic that one night that me and him couldn't remember what we talked about
Right.
the next day.
here's the thing.
This
I'm
is
not.
important stuff.
I am not one of those guys that's been there. I'll be the first one to tell you. If you talk to the guys that have been there, they will tell you you will never understand until you've been there.
I believe.
And I will end it at that.
Yeah.
it's a
Like,
fucking jungle. man.
guys, and it's not just it's Vietnam, it's Iraq, it's Afghanistan. We had Megan on the show. Megan's deployed 3 fucking times. Like,
That's badass.
there is shit that you just don't
I
understand
was kind
until
of
you've been
scared when
there.
I was
There
sitting
in
next to her.
person.
She
Like-
could have like poked me in the neck and just taken me out or something.
Probably.
With her
You know what I'm
dick.
She
saying?
probably thought about it like 6 times.
Oh my god, Tony and Paul have just been ruthless to this woman tonight. It's not even fair.
Dude, like, me and Megan worked together for a long time, so like we like fight all the time, and people don't realize that we're actually pretty close. So they think that we actually like hate each other and are going to fist fight. So it's always interesting to see that. But yes, but yeah, I don't know. That was our side tangent for the night. We talked about snakehead
That
fishing.
side tangent
like-
was like 45 minutes.
Was it that long? I don't think it was that long.
It was a while.
But yes, if you're still watching, if you haven't researched like Vietnam tunnel rats, please do. Them guys deserve a lot of credit, and they went through a lot of hell. So if you haven't ever heard of it, please check it out. It's crazy. It deserves your attention, even if it's just I'm bored at lunch. I'm going to read an article. Check it out.
Young Bucks, Snakehead Boys, Top Water, Weedless Flukes.
Top water.
Top Water.
Weedless flukes. You guys throw that in the summertime?
Yes. Is that a joke? I don't.
I'm
Hold
messing
up.
now.
You throw a donkey rig in the summer?
That was more of a springtime bait for me.
Dude.
Anything weedless that I can throw in a pocket and just make it sit in that strike zone for a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? And a fluke does a really, really good job of that.
I will say we did have Thursday when we went out. The very first spot we pulled up, we're like, "Is that a fry ball back there?" It was a fry ball. We
Right.
got closer to it. There was 2 parents on it. Did not pay a single bit of attention to a lure at all. Did not care. But it is Joppatown, so the fish has probably seen about 30 frogs that day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, for real. Like that, I didn't realize that like Dundee just gets absolutely destroyed by frogs. Like, go to Dundee on a Saturday,
see
every
fish
kayak fisherman's throwing a frog. Literally every single one of them. Like, it's incredible.
The kayak fishermen are
Ruthless.
are the scabs of the water. I just gotta say it. I'm sorry. It's annoying.
Yeah, there's a
That's
couple-
why we can't run over 6 in any of the zones, just because of the kayaks. You think Maryland cares if you rip your lower unit off on a log?
Hell no.
No. It's because of erosion and the kayak fishing.
Yeah.
Erosion is real. I definitely see erosion in some different areas.
For sure.
However, the kayaks are the main reason for it in the GP.
I mean, I can understand, especially. I know there was that one guy on the summer solstice tournament that got DQ'd for running.
Two
Roy Boyd.
counties. I thought you were in
But-
Cecil.
You got 30-some boats out there. If you're coming through one of them canals at 30 mile an hour, somebody's coming the opposite way at 30 mile an hour. That's not good.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only one spot, to be honest with you, in that entire place that makes me concerned about that, though, and it's just that blind turn across Days Cove.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
the
it.
one.
There's nowhere else really that makes me concerned about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a couple other ones. That
The bridge, I have had some sketchy moments at.
I guess I gotta mark that channel a little bit better going to Days Cove because that was
What channel?
last week. There's a slight where I had it on my
3
map.
to 5 inch difference.
Where I had it on my map last year, and last week when I tried to idle up in there, I got completely off it and was in the mud. I was like, nope, I'm turning around. In my boat with a jack plate all the way up, so you know I was like.
I think
rubbing
I think at really low tide it can make a difference, but normally at just like a normal tide, I've just been blowing straight across it. I've always kind of like hung a left and then met to a certain area and then hooked straight across, but like
you gotta kind of
at the right tide,
to the right, veer
dude,
to the right, and then go straight.
there's not as many laydowns and all that bull crap in there as people think.
It's just
there
mud.
is. It's just mud. It's just silt.
Right.
You don't need to slow down for that.
There's
Hell no.
not. There's not.
Get through anything going 90.
I've never hit much in there. I've gotten stuck in there, but I've never hit much in there.
Yeah.
So
I will say last was it Saturday we went out? Or no, it was Monday. Monday morning we went out on Nick's boat,
Yeah.
an area that he had never been in before.
Yeah.
that's
I
always
had been
fun.
in before.
That's my hesitation with the
And
bush. I
I
want to go
told
fish
him-
the bush, but the areas that I'm looking at, which
They're shallow.
I'm not gonna
and they're
ask.
shallow,
I'm not
but they're
gonna.
not that
I'm not gonna
bad.
ask anybody like, is this where you fish? But
In
like
your
the
boat.
areas where I think people are fishing, I'm like,
It's
I gotta learn how to navigate this shit. I'm
It's
like,
fine.
you
If-
could just
if
run
honestly-
over there.
if
Like,
you
The
take
bush
your
is more
job
wide
out,
open than
you're fine.
gunpowder.
just fucking run it.
Yeah, just run it. Like gunpowder, I feel like has more obstructions
Yeah.
and shallower water than the bush.
But
really?
yeah, I think so.
Monday we went out. We took his boat. I told him going into this area is like, dude, the tide
Oh,
rips.
we got stuck.
I was like, the water rips through here. Like you gotta get to where you're going, and then figure it out.
Dude,
When he put the boat straight across the sandbar going into this little cove.
w-
I had to jump out the back of the boat, push the boat off.
Was this
Those are
Thursday?
the good times.
No, this is Monday. We came to this spot and he said like the tide rips there, but like
It rips.
I didn't know like trolling motor on 100 like
Right.
rip
Yeah,
like
you're talking like
you have to
30
be able to
mile an
control the
hour
boat like and I'm like all right like we're starting to do shit. I'm like all right I can control like at this point like there's too much going on to the point where like
we
I
hit
I can't catch up to what's
We hit
going
a
on.
log and then a
Hit a
sandbar.
log and then sandbar. Yeah.
Dude, I know, like, that's one of the things I want to talk about earlier, dude. I'm so ADHD and I can't remember shit. I'm telling you, we were talking about motors earlier and hitting shit and how delicate motors were. I got a 1994 Yamaha 30
It's been banged about 100
on the back of my
different
freaking
logs.
John boat that I have ran into about everything you can fucking think of at full speed.
And it's fine.
That bitch is solid.
Well,
Dude, I
it's a
have
tuner,
broken.
though, right?
I've broken the fin off of one prop, the blade off of one prop.
That was last year too, wasn't it?
It was last year. I've gone through 4 props on the boat. I replace a prop on the boat at least once a year,
Right.
once to twice a year. But what I do is I just buy like 2 shit Amazon props for like
Yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
Soulless.
Dude, I'm gonna drag it across.
Dude, those
I'm gonna
things are
drag
great.
it across.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drag it across a mud field. I'm gonna hit rocks and I'm gonna hit a freaking log
Yep.
with it about 80 times. I will say one of the qualities I did get a prop last year that like just pulled stupidly hard like to the right, and I had to put another prop on it because
Chinese.
my arm just hurt trying to keep the boat straight.
Right.
Yeah.
It was dumb. But yeah, that I just run that thing shallow. I don't really care anymore.
It's a tunnel haul.
It's a tunnel haul. And I also
Dude, you
it's a
could run in 6 inches of water and be fine.
it's a 30 horse. I'm also like if I hit the lower and I break it or something.
You're not
what-
going fast
how
enough
much-
to really hurt
You're
it.
not. I keep the switch on it so that when it hits something, it can just brrr,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
kick right out of the way.
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think it goes fast enough with that wooden platform in the front. And also, how much would it cost to replace a lower unit on that?
Probably
30?
not much.
$500.
Five,
Probably
600
find them all
bucks.
day long.
Probably not much.
It's like, I'm not saying that's like brush it off or anything like that, but
It's still like
compared to
a
$3,000 for a
Oh, yeah.
150 or something
Yeah.
like
Hey,
that, you know what I'm saying?
2,700 for my lower. Like
Yeah.
I'll take 500
Yeah.
all day,
It's like $3,000. He's got a 200, 2,700.
and it ain't even that fast. Damn it.
So I mean, it's there. I'm willing to run it for the Thursday nighters.
Why not?
I know where the spot is and all that stuff, just from talk and all that stuff, but I just figured out a path how to get there. It doesn't matter what launch position I'm in, the specific spot that I like to fish, I'll get there before anybody. I'll launch last. I'll beat everybody there. I'll run straight across that mud flat. I don't care how long it takes the bass boats to go all the way around.
Well, it makes a difference when you got
I've been there.
idle the whole way up and around.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you can run it all the way up and then run it across and then run it in. But as soon as you hit that reed line, you got to set it down.
Yeah.
But me, I can run it all the way up
Straight
that
on
mud
across.
flat. As soon as I hit that reed line, I can set it down. But when I hit that reed line,
Yep.
I'm already where I want to fish.
Right.
Yeah.
So it don't matter.
I
That's
will
the
say-
that's the only advantage that I do have.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever think about like what that area was before it was all silted in?
Dude, I
It's
often
it's
wonder
worse
like
every year.
what was Rumsey like before it was Rumsey? Like just
Right.
the marsh. Like the duck hunter in me is like, could you imagine? Like I don't know if any of you guys shoot ducks, but like I'm a newly found duck hunter and I'm like, could you imagine what Joppatown was like before Joppatown existed?
How do we
Rumsey
how do we
freezes pretty
invent
often.
how do we invent a way to dredge channels with smaller boats?
Just run through there 100 times.
Because they can't dredge these channels and make it fit. Eventually, if they all fill in
they
with silt,
can,
you
but they
can't.
choose not to.
Okay, so how do you
That's on
make?
purpose,
you know what I'm
too.
saying?
They're not dredging.
So
anything.
here's the
Okay,
deal.
but they're
right?
not making the fish population
The
any
reason-
better either
the-
by freaking doing
so-
The
this.
state doesn't care. It's not making the state money. So
The
why would they do
reason
it?
why they don't dredge, especially Days Cove, is because whoever owns that kayak,
Because
or
I
that
paid
canoe
taxes.
area back there, like
taxation is
okay,
theft.
like no shit, true, 100%. But like
100%.
when so Scott Sewell actually brought that up to dredge that area so that boats could run through it, and whoever is in charge of that canoe area in Days Cove raised all kinds of hell and is some kind of way like this with somebody in the State Department, and
That
they,
had nothing to do with
They're all
dredging.
getting
It
a
had to do with
kickback. Bro.
changing the 6-knot zone.
correct, but that was the next step. They fucking it was 10-1 vote in favor of speed limit of 30, and they
Yeah.
didn't approve it because this one guy bitched so bad. And you know what happens
He knew the right person.
when I drive
That's all
through
it
Days
That's all it
Cove.
came down to.
When I go through Days Cove and I see them on the kayak, I
It's
put the hammer down.
I mean,
because
straight
guess
up,
what? I could have
I'm
been
not
doing
trying to
30,
be that guy
but
or
now I'm
anything.
going
We
to do
only got
70.
3 people
Yeah.
watching anymore, but it's the
Right.
guy with the kayaks to the left across Days Cove. That's the guy.
I could have been doing 30 through there, but now I'm going to do full fucking throttle
You know,
because
you
you're a
should
son
do
of a bitch.
60.
Right.
You
Like,
should do about 15, so it's just chugging along
oh yeah, true.
and really rock them.
That's what I'm saying. It makes it worse when you're just freaking half
So
tilted.
here's the
100%.
worst part. It's like some kids do field trips there. You know what's the coolest? I've driven through there 100 times when all the kids are in the canoes. They love it when they see a boat rocking through there.
hell yeah.
They think it's cool, right? And then there's some Karen with his freaking shorts up like this. That's not okay. Fuck you, asshole. Like, get the fuck out of here.
The
Like,
beers have hit tonight.
like
Yeah.
it's so stupid. I can't stand it. Like I put the hammer down every time. I don't give a shit. Like if you were out there and I see you,
Except on a
I'm
Thursday.
going through it. No, well, yes, and I don't go. That's why I don't go back there on a Thursday because I hate idling. But it's like if I see you there, kayak guy or canoe guy, I'm fucking opening it up. I don't care. Like fuck you. Like we're gonna be nice about it, but now you wanted to be an asshole. So guess what? Wide open
I
the bus.
had a bad kayak experience with Steve the day before the solstice. So we went into the place that I like to fish
Right.
normally,
Correct.
and we're sitting in there fishing the mouth of that place. We pass like 5 kayakers that I'm assuming is just going to go into what the Joppatown back channel is what I'm going to call it.
Pleasure kayakers, not even like kayak fishermen's.
No, they're just kayakers.
Yeah.
They just have some stupid sun dolphin kayak.
It's like inflatable or some garbage.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
bullshit.
Right.
So,
Not even something
and it's
cool.
like, we run to this spot, we stop, start throwing buzz baits, and Steve was throwing I was throwing a buzz bait, Steve was flipping. A little bit of a clash in speed and stuff, but we were just trying to figure something out
Yeah.
pre-fishing.
Right.
It was like, I look over and Steve's like, "Are they coming right for us?" And I was like, "Nah, they're gonna go up the back creek like every other kayaker does." You know what I mean? No, those motherfuckers saw us go over to this channel and just paddled their way right over to where we were fishing at, and then sat there and freaking just kayaked over with 5 of them. Everything that we were fishing all the way through there, just kayak right through it. And the thing is if you fished there before, which I know you have, the area that they kayaked over is literally about 12 inches deep. So anything that might have been there
Gone.
was not there.
Right.
I think the worst is when like you pull up to a ramp and like you get this group of old people like holding the ramp up with kayaks.
Or
It's
a Chinese guy with 5 rods in the water.
Oh my god, dude, this is a whole thing. Like, I saw that guy at the ramp the other day. Like,
Dude, he
catch a
still
ba-
shows up.
He caught a bass off the dock and
At
put it in a
Joppa?
cooler, and
He
I was
ate
like,
it.
"Damn it!" Oh yeah, he totally. Ate
This
it.
is a great story, and I will tell it every year. Should we tell it?
You should, because it's not my story. I was laughing the whole
I
time.
mean, we only have 5 peeps, but I'll tell it again, so it doesn't even matter because it's hilarious. So last
I've
year
never heard.
we came in on a Thursday nighter, and I was coming in. It was dark, and clearly there's a sign at the front of the boat ramps at Mariner Point that says "No fishing off the docks." It's right there.
We've all seen it, right?
So we pull in, and I don't notice it. I'm just not paying attention. But we got Jackie Chan over here on the freaking on the dock
With like 4 lines,
with like
150
4 lines,
yards
yeah,
out.
just
right.
like catfish lines,
he can't
like
read
all out in the
English.
water.
fuck.
I can't see it, and I ran over every one of his lines.
That
and
was the tournament that me and Buckland won, so
Yeah.
we were already happy because we knew we had it. I was just
Oh yeah,
laughing the whole
and it was
time.
great.
Oh, it was
So
incredible.
like, dude, I wrapped up this guy's line, every single one of this guy's lines in my prop.
What the fuck?
And just like, dude, this guy cussing me left and right, just like all pissed off at me, like, I no fish here? I'm not allowed to fish here? Like, whatever you
He's
say.
like a
Like,
South Park Chinese guy.
no, dude, I'm not even joking with you, though.
it's
Tony.
a Mr. Japanese guy.
Tony, back me up. This guy did not speak even close to clear English, dude.
So,
He
like,
didn't.
no shit. The guy, like, okay, this guy definitely knew some shit because he was standing at the dock. He's like, "Oh, you're going to kick my ass? You're going to kill me?" And I'm like,
He
This
said
guy-
that.
this,
He
like-
said that.
this guy
He said you want to kick my
knows
ass. You want to
some
kill me.
shit.
He
Yeah.
said
Like-
you want to kill me. I swear to you. I'm coming in. I cut this dude's fishing rod lines. He's like, you want to kill me? I'm like, no. I'm like,
oh, dude, I was like, oh, shit, this is going to be funny. Like, I'm going to have to try to, like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, if this fist fight happens, I'm going to have to jump in, and then I'm going to get my ass beat, because this dude definitely knows some shit.
What
this
the fuck
is
going
we're
on?
approaching Mr. Miyagi right now.
Dude, it's like Ip Man is going catfishing in Joppatown. Like, I'm telling you. Oh, it was great. And nothing happened, but it was like this guy was irate, and it's like, you're clearly fucking wrong. There's 25 boats coming in at the same time, and you just like, not a
this
care in
stuff
the
out
world.
there,
Got your.
While nobody can see anything.
Right. And it's like, exactly. It's like, dude, come on.
asking if I was gonna come up there and kill him and like all this
Yeah,
stuff. I
what
was
the
like, I
Just
told him.
said
Remember,
yes.
I was like, no, I want to give you a hug.
It's like, look,
You remember
it's like, nobody really cares
It was
if you
funny.
fish off the dock. That being said, if there's 30 boats trying to weigh in, probably reel in.
Yeah,
Wait till
reel in.
we all leave.
Just wait.
Like,
yeah.
you're not supposed to be there anyway.
Yep.
So nobody, nobody's gonna say shit, but it's like, help each other out. Don't be a
Right.
cocksucker.
Nobody common
Like,
courtesy.
right.
So, but with that being said, everybody, we're gonna tune out for the night because We got shit to do tomorrow because we're grown adults.
I gotta try to fish tomorrow.
I'm
Damn
gonna
it.
try to go fish tomorrow morning too.
I might go
I'm
fish
gonna
tomorrow
try.
as well.
We'll try it in the afternoon.
I'm gonna sleep in a little bit and then go.
It's a little bit.
I'm gonna wake
Just
up
a little
at
bit.
2:30.
We'll see what time I wake up.
I'm gonna sleep in until like fucking 6 a.m.
I'm getting up in 3 hours to go fishing. I might just not go to sleep.
That
There you
being
go.
said,
Just keep
we
on going.
appreciate you and Tom, Nick and
Oh,
Tom,
yeah.
for coming on tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Giving
Always
us
a blast.
giving us the knowledge of the snakehead gurus. Tom doesn't know shit.
Nothing.
Nick doesn't know anything either. They're actually both retarded, and I wouldn't listen to anything they said.
Yes.
But anyways, appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll have some more juice for you next week. Thursday nighter coming up. Let's get after it. I'll be there. I'm not missing this next week. It's not happening unless a tornado falls or something like that.
Hey, that happened last year.
I already
Or
fucking
there's
said
another
it.
chicken coop for
Steve-
sale.
Or the-
Possibly. I like my chicken coop. You guys got to check that out. They're very happy with it. I got Skylar booked for the next 2 weeks. Me and Skylar, we're coming to the GP.
That's my
There you
partner.
go.
It's happening.
There you
So,
go.
all right, y'all. Appreciate you guys. We're out. Peace.
See you.